And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Ultimate Dirt TV and welcome to the Coast to Coast Racing Network. It is time for the Oshweekend Speedway Monday Night Madness. 3 races on the program tonight. Up first, thanks to Glenridge Motorsports Park, it is the 358 Modifieds here tonight from the sprint car capital of the world, the Knoxville Raceway. Brett Wheeler alongside Zach Chapman. Zach, welcome in to Ultimate Dirt TV. Welcome back to Coast, buddy.
Yeah, man, it's always fun sitting in with you, Brad. I'm glad you were willing to let me join in and watch some good hard racing tonight here at Knoxville.
Well, we just got done with qualifying. It is done and dusted, so we'll look at 3 heat races on the program. Fastest qualifier tonight, once again, goes to Samuel Buckman in the 007 car with a 19.831. He will start position number 4 in tonight's heat racing action. Let's take a look at now your heat race number 1 lineup on the pole position. He's going to be the 56 car of Randy Shreves. Jake Henry lines up at a position number 2. Bud Molyneux lines up at a position number 3. Samuel Buckman lines up the 007 from position number 4. Position number 5 with the 18 car of Logan Wentz. Patrick Spengler lines up at a position number 6. And out of position number 7 and 8, it'll be GJ Boydell out of position number 7. And newcomer tonight, Braden Bennett, lines up at a position number 8. Zach, who do you fancy in this one, mate?
You know, put me on the spot like that. This is going to be tough. It's either going to, I think it'll come down to that 118 or the 107, but I'm going to put my money on Samuel Bachman. I think he's going to make his way to the front here.
All right, I'll tell you what. Let's play a little game here tonight for the first 2 races, because you're going to be joining us for the, obviously with the 358 Modifieds on track, you'll be joining us for the Rebel 360 before you get ready for the Renegades 360 later on. So let's play a game. Each heat race we'll pick a winner and we'll see who can come out on top. I'm going to go Randy Shreves in this one.
It's a good pick. Randy's always quick. Starting on the pole never hurts either.
Absolutely not. Green flag is out. Heat race number 1. Shreves and Jake Henry will lead them down into turn number 1 and 2. Backman around the outside. Here comes Patrick Spangler. He come cut of a 39 as well, making his way to the top side. Now, no consolation racing here tonight. Everybody going to go straight to the main event. Jake Henry going to come off turn number 4 to the outside. He goes and he will lead lap number 1.
You're able to make it look easy. I'm kind of surprised. I liked Randy's line in 1 and 2 on the first lap. Normally these take a while to get up to speed, but he was able to make the high line work there on lap 1.
Well, going around the outside was Samuel Buckman in that 007 machine as he finds his way into position number 2. 6 laps is the distance for the heat racing action here this evening. 3 heats on the program. Then there'll be a warm-up session, and then, of course, our 30-lap A-main event to kick off the Glenridge Motorsports Park 358 Modifieds here on Oshweekend Speedway Monday Night Madness. As we're halfway home in the 171 Gears Unlimited car of Jake Henry, leads the way from that expert insultation Full Throttle Motorsports 007 machine of Samuel Buckman, Randy Shreves, Bud Molyneux, Patrick Spengler make up gets up 5. Then you go back to Logan Wentz, GJ Boydell, and Braden Bennett to finish up this 8-car field in heat race number 1.
Yeah, last time by, Samuel Bachman, fastest lap of the race at a 19.97. Slowly reeling in the leader, but, you know, at this pace, he's not going to be able to do anything if Jake can stay smooth.
Well, Jake is only going to have 1 lap left to run, but Bachman going to close in down into turn number 3 and 4. They'll come to the white flag. 1 lap left to go. Half a mile around the sprint car capital of the world in what is championship week for every other division except the Monday Night Madness and Oshweekend Speedway. That gets pushed back till next week. That's Samuel Buckman with a 19.881. So he's just bettered his own lap time there on the previous lap as they work into 3 and 4 for the final time. It's going to be Jake Henry to pick up the win. So we're, you know what, I'm going to give you that one just because your pick finished ahead of mine. So 1-0 to you, and we're going to keep a good eye on this one as to what happens throughout the course of the night. Let's take a look at your heat race number 1. Results coming up on screen. Jake Henry gets the win. Samuel Buckman, Randy Shreves, Bud Molyneux, Patrick Spengler, your top 5. Logan Wentz, GJ Boydell, and Braden Bennett to make up the drivers in heat race number 1. Zach, we'll let you read through the lineup for heat race number 2.
Yes, so starting off on the pole is going to be Kelly Wheeler in the 110 on the outside of the front row, and the 444 is going to be Scott Rayome. Inside of row 2 is going to be Randall Dixon in the 011 on the outside, Michael Vitale in the 213. Inside of row number 3 is going to be Matt Schaefer in the 833. On the outside, Dylan Kinsey in the 083. And rounding out the field in row number 4 on the inside is going to be John Morano in the 033 and Soupy Dan McLaren in the 88.
All right, since you had the first pick last time, I'm going to take Scott Rayome for this one.
Oh, that's a great pick. Michael Vitale. Or Vital. I don't know why I always say Vitale. I'm pretty sure it's Vital.
No, it's Vitalik because I actually asked him the same question, and it was right around the same time as Scott told me that it was Scott Rayome, but I like to call him Scott Rayome just to make Dean Reynolds laugh a bit. But it's definitely Michael Vitale. I did get confirmation on that one, but. Anyhow, green flag is out. Kelly Wheeler going to lead him down into turn number 3 and 4 to complete lap number 1. Here comes Scott Rayome with a run on the outside. And it seems to be, well, it's going to be Kelly Wheeler to lead lap number 1, but that could all change here in a minute, Zach.
Yeah, he able to hold it down there on the first lap, which was honestly kind of what I expected from Shreves that last run. Able to make it work until they get wound up. But I expect in another lap or two, it's going to be real tough for Kelly to hold that bottom. But we might see the bottom come in later in the feature, Brett.
Yeah, wouldn't be surprised to see that bottom side come in, especially around the Knoxville Raceway. If he can get it, it can be very fast. As here comes Vitali to the outside of Randall Dixon as they work side by side to the back straightaway. So they've got nearly 3 laps. That third and fourth position there, Randall Dixon and Michael Vitali. They started alongside of each other, and they're still alongside of each other down the front straightaway. Now Vitali finally gets clear, but here comes Randall Dixon fighting back on the inside. Meanwhile, Kelly Wheeler trying to come back after your race leader, Scott Rayome, in that Full Throttle Motorsports number 4 machine.
Yeah, really neat. I kind of skipped my mind. I forgot these things are open setups here on Monday night. So, yeah, I mean, it's quite possible that people do have a higher gear in it so they can run the bottom. I wouldn't be surprised. That's maybe why we're seeing such good racing here.
Well, there'll be a lap and a half to go as they work down the back straight away here on lap number 5. So the penultimate lap of heat race number 2. Only 3 heats on the program here for the Glenridge Motorsports Park 358 Modifieds. And again, we're in heat race number 2, so 1 more heat to come. And then, of course, our 30-lap A main event. The white flag is out for Scott Rayome as he will lead him past the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum. Kelly Wheeler, again, right there with Scott Rayome as they work down into 3 and 4. So if Rayome makes a mistake, there's a chance for Kelly Wheeler as they come off turn number 4. But Scott Rayome is going to pick up the win in heat race number 2. Just by about a tenth of a second as well. So that got very close here at the end between the top 2 of Scott Rayome and Kelly Wheeler. We'll take a look at your full field rundown here as Scott Rayome gets the win. Kelly Wheeler home in 2nd. Michael Vitali 3rd. Randall Dixon 4th. Dylan Kinsey to make up your top 5. Matt Schaefer in 6th. Dan McLaren 7th. And John Morano. How about John Morano on Thursday? I picked up a heat race win as well. Heat race number 3, Stephen Bixel lines up on the pole position. Anthony Morano lines up at a position number 2. Jeffrey Barker in the 513 will start from position number 3. Dean Reynolds lines up the 79 machine from position number 4. Steve Mora will make his way to the 5th starting position. Jason Butterfield lines up at a position number 6. And Bob DeGood will make up the 7 cars in heat race number 3. Zach, your pick first.
You can't pick against that 32 there starting on the outside front row.
I knew that was coming. As soon as I seen you starting on the outside of the front row, I'm just like, well, there goes that pick because I won't be able to pick him. All right, well, I'll go with the man that went 3rd quick this evening in the 79 car of Dean Reynolds. In fact, if we go back to the Gimble Motorsports Thursday Night Thunder last week, Dean Reynolds picked up the victory. And like I said, John Morano also picked up a heat race victory as well. So looking forward to seeing how these guys can play host to the open setups here at the Knoxville Raceway. Zach, I'll tell you what, I'm going to let you lead us to the green off heat race number 3.
Sounds good as the pace truck comes off here. We're rolling down quite a late start here. Got a long front stretch. Green flag is out, hammered down. Anthony Morano, little trouble. Sometimes these cars jump to the right. He went up there and kissed the wall, but able to keep it straight. But that's going to allow Steven Bixler, if he wants to slide up. But he's not going to be able to do it, Brett.
No, he's not. So Morano now gets to the outside. Here comes Dean Reynolds. I was almost thinking about picking Jeffrey Barker as well because I know Jeff likes to run the bottom side as he's going to try and make it work, but Dean Reynolds now gets to the outside. Dean Reynolds going to move into position number 2. So Morano and Reynolds, our picks, go 1 and 2. Bixler back to position number 3, but look out, there's some company with Jeffrey Barker. Dean Reynolds catches the guarder on the back straight away. He's going to lose a couple of positions. Now gets into the back of Bixler. So all of a sudden, Reynolds goes from the second spot. Now he comes down to the inside, makes contact with Jason Butterfield, and he goes from second back to fourth, where it all started for him.
Yeah, I don't think he knew Jason was down there, but they were almost 4 wide for a second there coming out of turn 4 as Dean hits the berm. He's going to go up and bump Jeff a little bit, but they're able to collect it and keep her going.
Yeah, that 79 machine is wild here this evening in heat race number 3. And we're just like that. We're already halfway home here in the final heat race of the night. We'll have a warm-up session after this one, followed by a 30-lap main event. Right now, Anthony Morano is going to lead him down into turn number 3 and 4. There'll be 2 to run. Meanwhile, this battle on for second, third, fourth, and fifth position is starting to heat up as well. Here comes Jeffrey Barker. Again, Barker trying to make it work on the inside. Bixler goes upstairs. And Reynolds trying to come back through the middle of the raceway off turn number 2. Reynolds now gets to the outside just there on the 513 car of Jeffrey Barker. Meanwhile, Jason Butterfield trying to close in on second, third, and fourth. There'll be 1 lap left to run, Zach.
Yeah, I was going to say Jason's having the most fun. Those guys battling, coming here to the white flag. He might have gotten close enough with them battling to gain a position or 2 here as Jeff Barker gets loose.
Here comes Reynolds. Looking to make a move on Bix as they work into 3 and 4 for the final time. Morano too good. It's 2-1 to Zach. He's going to pick up heat race number 3 victory. Anthony Morano, Bixler, and Reynolds. Gee, that was very close at the line between those 2 drivers. We'll take a look here in a moment at your finishing results for the third and final heat race of the night. Let's take a look. Anthony Morano gets the win over Stephen Bixler home in second. Dean Reynolds third. Jeffrey Barker fourth. Jason Butterfield to round out your top 5. Steve Moore in 6th. And Bob DeGood in position number 7. All right, with that being said, we'll take this opportunity now to step aside here on Ultimate Dirt TV and on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Your Osh Weekend Speedway Monday Night Madness, Glenridge Motorsports Park, 358 Modifieds, live from the Knoxville Raceway. All right, we are back here on Ultimate Dirt TV coverage of your Oshweekend Speedway Monday Night Madness, Glenbridge Motorsports Park. 358 modifieds here tonight from the sprint car capital of the world, the Knoxville Raceway. Brett Wheeler alongside Zach Chapman as we get set for tonight's 30-lap A main event here to come in what is on the first of 3 races on the program. Let's take a look at your starting lineup as Jake Henry is going to line up on the pole position. Scott Rayome will start from position number 2. Anthony Morano lines up the 32 machine from position number 3. Samuel Backman lines up the 007 from 4. From 5, it's the 11 entry of Kelly Wheeler. From 6, the 75 of Stephen Bixler. From position number 7, the 56 of Randy Shreese. From 8, the 213 of Michael Vitale. From 9, it's the 79 of Dean Reynolds. From position number 10, the 883 entry of Bud Molyneux. From position number 11, the 011 of Randall Dixon. From 12, it's the 513 car of Jeffrey Barker. From position number 13, the 39 of Patrick Spangler. From 14, the 83 of Dylan Kenzie. From 15, the 93 of Jason Butterfield. From 16, the 18 of Logan Wentz. From 17, car 83 of Matt Schaefer. From 18, the 888 of Steve Mora. Then we go back to GJ Boydell in the 014 from position number 19. From 20th, it's Dan McLaren. From 21, it's the 7 entry of Bomb to Good. From 22, it's the 06 of Braden Bennett. And making up the tail end of the field, the 33 car of John Morano from position number 23. Ooh, this is tough. I don't know who I want to go with here.
It really is. I was thinking the same thing, man.
You know what? It's going to be inside the first 2 rows. I was thinking of Scott, but then I was looking at Anthony, but I'm actually going to go Samuel Backman in the 007 car.
Yeah, I'm kind of shocked you didn't take Anthony, and I'm shocking myself and not taking Anthony either because I talked myself into someone else. Yeah. Well, I'm going to go with Michael Vitale in the 213. I really do think outside row 4, I think we'll have a caution or 2, and I think he can contend for the lead. Yeah,
this is a real tough one to pick. But all right, let's go racing. 30 laps on the board. Oshweekend Speedway, Monday Night Madness, Glenridge Motorsports Park, 358 modifieds. We are green here at the Knoxville Raceway. Jake Henry is going to lead the field down into turn number 1 and 2. Rayome back to the outside as he gets around the 32 car of Anthony Morano. Here comes Backman now, going to try and challenge for a podium position as they work through turn number 3 and 4. Look at this, set 2 by 2 all throughout this field. Lap number 1 going to belong to Jake Henry as Rayome sits back down to position number 2. Morano going to work his way down to the inside on Scott Rayome. Now looks for the runner-up position as Samuel Backman just sitting back down to position number 4. Kelly Wheeler, nice job there back in position number 5, Zach.
Yeah, really surprised. I didn't notice it as much in warm-ups, but these guys are making it work. I'm seeing Dean Reynolds come up through the field using the bottom. A lot of these guys are really making the bottom work. We're going to have a 2-lane race here in the feature.
Keep an eye on what Samuel Backman just did. He went to the top into turn number 1 and he used that cut-down line. That cushion is starting to build. You know very well that once that cushion builds in 1 and 2, it can be very overpowered. As Kelly Wheeler's now going to find his way up to position number 4. He got by Samuel Backman. Again, Backman going to go upstairs, use the cushion through the middle of 1 and 2, then cut it back down just above the slick. So here comes Samuel Backman with a run on the outside. They go 3 wide. Rayome and Wheeler on the inside of Backman. And gee, he's making it work upstairs. He hits the guardrail once, tries to keep the car nice and straight. But how about Jake Henry in the opening 4 laps? Gee, the 171 car looks nice and smooth at the moment.
Yeah, he really does, and he's doing it in the middle. It's kind of impressive. That's a lot of throttle control by him because he's driving right through the slick the whole time. He's not getting sideways, and he's having great speed on the exit.
Morano, Wheeler, that's your top. That's behind Jake Henry. That's your top 3. Is now Rayome going to go to the cushion along with Samuel Backman. Dean Reynolds has found his way to position number 6. He's got Randy Shrees and Michael Vitale closely following that 79 car as they try and catch up to 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th as they now go 2 by 2. Back behind your race leader. Your leader, Jake Henry, he's almost got 8/10 of a second. In fact, it does just go out to 8/10 of a second. How far can Jake Henry, if this race stays green, how far can Henry pull away from the field? Or will Wheeler and Morano track him down? Backman along with Rayome again. They work it side by side off turn number 4.
Yeah, I mean, easier said than done getting through traffic, but I do think there are some cars in the top 5 that look like they might have the speed to contend with the leader. Cars like the 79 of Dean Reynolds. I mean, he's passed 4 or 5 guys and has barely lost any time to the leader. But they're going to need a break. They're not going to be able to do it all in 30 laps.
Fast lap of the race, Jake Henry with a 20.017. Kelly Wheeler with a 20.042. Most of the other drivers, you've got a couple of drivers in the middle of the pack. Randall Dixon, Bud Molyneux in the 20.0s. Randall Dixon, Bud Molyneux, Michael Vitale just did a 20.039. And then a lot of the drivers, 20.1, 20.2s as Dean Reynolds laid down a nice little lap time as well with a 20.017. Equal lap time. Fastest lap to the race leader of Jake Henry. And you got to think Reynolds is actually doing that in traffic as well, Zach, while Jake Henry, he's doing it out in front. He's got no one to contend with at the moment.
Yeah, that's the most impressive with that 79 because we don't truly know what line suits his car best. He's having to go where they're not, and he's still fast doing it.
Fastest lap of the race, Jake Henry, 20.009. Again, he's pulled out to over a second lead. And I'm going to say, how about Kelly Wheeler in that 11 machine? Gee, Kelly's just rolling the bottom side. I'm going to say, that's probably the fastest Kelly's looked for quite some time. We know that he can get the job done. He can find a way to a podium, sometimes finding bad luck on Thursday nights. But, gee, I tell you what, that 11 car really impressing me at the moment.
Yeah, he's doing a great job of riding smooth, keeping up that speed, and not fanning it out on the exit, because if you get loose on exit, you know as well as I do, you're going to lose all that speed. But Dan McLaren, he's a great driver. You know, he's not going to race the leaders hard, but boy, leaders are coming up on lap traffic, and Dan has to do what he has to do to try to stay on the lead lap. He can't just pull over, so this could get interesting here.
Yeah, well, what will the lap traffic play here in tonight's main event? And again, Dan McLaren does want to happen to stay on the lead lap, but if you're comparing times at the moment, he's 2/10 off the pace to what your race leader is doing, and we're only a couple of laps away from half race distance as well. We go back to look at Scott Graham and Dean Reynolds. They were battling. Michael Vitale now trying to come to the outside of the 79 car of Dean Reynolds, and like I said, go back to the start of the night. Dean Reynolds qualified third quick. Not a bad lap time as well that he laid down, but just he's finding some struggles on the entry into that turn number 3. He's caught the inside berm a number of times. And how about that? Kelly Wheeler, the only driver and the first driver to go sub 22nd with a 19.965.
Yeah, he's really finding that speed. He's just getting smoother as we go on. It looks like to me he's maybe gone a little bit lower. It looked like he was running more the middle before, but he's found some speed. And like I say, the leader, he's got a lap car in front of him who's not just pulling out of the way. And I mean, I know that can be frustrating, but it is not lap car's job to pull out of the way. All they have to do is hold their line and try to maintain it. You see it all the time in sprint car racing. So he's got to find a way around now, but Dan's moving out of the way.
Kelly Wheeler's last 3 laps, 19.965, 19.964, and a 19.957. Now Jake Henry's going to put a lap down to that 88 machine of Dan McLaren. And just as the lap car of, again, if Dan McLaren does happen to hold his line, that's actually allowed Kelly Wheeler to close in. We go back what was probably about 5 laps ago. It was Jake Henry who had about a 1 second lead, almost 1.2 second lead. Now it's down to just 3/10 of a second. And with Kelly Wheeler, I wouldn't be surprised to see Kelly Wheeler pick up the win. If this race stays green, how long do the tyres hold on to that number 11 machine? Will it play a factor as well? We're coming to 11 to run. Jake Henry still your race leader.
Yeah, I think it really all comes down to right now Jake's mental state after being held up by the lapper. He's got to get back to running those laps he was running before and just be smooth, because if he can even be half a tenth faster than Kelly every lap, Kelly's going to have to move him out of the way because they're both in the same line. So that's another thing for Kelly. It's one thing to catch a guy. It's another thing to pass him.
10 to run, and just like that, 20 green flag laps. Now
Jake
Wheeler,
in the wall.
Yeah. Kelly Wheeler gets to the inside, so your race is on for the lead. In fact, you've got a new race leader coming off the exit at turn number 2. But I'll tell you what, Jake Henry will want to move that 171 machine back to the outside of the 11. Your race for the lead is down into 3 and 4. And Kelly Wheeler going from, I think it was position number 5 it was, up to the race lead. John Morano, biggest mover through the field at the moment from 23rd to position number 17. But Kelly Wheeler has got the race lead down the back straight away.
Yeah, and I think with those times, I mean, it's always easier to follow than it is to be out front. But he was really running down Jake even before the lap car was slowing him down. Unless, he makes a mental mistake like Jake did, this race might be over.
Oh, Stephen Bixler, fastest lap of the race. Randall Dixon with a 19.928. So there's just 3 drivers at the moment that are sub 22nd. And you just look at that field coming behind Dan McLaren in the 88 machine. You've got 3 drivers that are sub 22nd. Kelly Wheeler 19.957, Bud Molyneux 19.984, but it's Randall Dixon with the fastest lap of the race with a 19.928. Jake Henry closes in on the back of your race leader once again down into 3 and 4. They'll come to 6 laps left to run. So Zach, we're only basically what is a heat race distance away from picking up. So one of these drivers picking up a feature win.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be over in the blink of an eye. These boys have impressed the heck out of us running green flag so far. Hopefully they can keep it up, but I would like to see maybe a slider or 2 for the lead here as Jake Henry looks like he's inching him back in.
Well, there's only 5 to run, so just like that, we've completed 25 of 30. Wheeler, your race leader from that 5th starting position. Jake Henry again, who started on pole of this 30-lap main event, has only got 4 laps to run. Dean Reynolds slowing on the front straightaway in that 79 car. And well, just like that, Dean Reynolds has got a broken front end of the race car. We're going to be going yellow because that 79 car just does not want to turn. For the moment, we are staying. No, there it is. I was just going to say, for the moment, we're staying green. Now, Zach, what does this do to the tyres and the temperature, knowing that now they're just going to be cooled down just a little bit?
I mean, you definitely got to be weary of what gear you have in the car and where you're restarting. If you're on that slick, you've got to make sure you don't spin your tires. Like you said, they cooled off. You've got to chill. If you spin the tires and heat them up too fast, you're going to overdo it and they're going to seal off, and you do not want that to happen.
Well, we just went 27, make that 27 and a half laps. Green flag before the first yellow, and hopefully it's the only yellow that we see here so far. Hopefully that we don't have to go to overtime here in the Glen Ridge Motorsports Park 358 Modifieds here on this Osh Weekend Speedway Monday Night Madness. Kelly Wheeler, I'm going to say, with Kelly Wheeler out in front, are you surprised by Kelly and the speed that he's shown up front?
I mean, wouldn't say surprised. He's always good, but it's so hard to pass here, and he's just done a good job of doing it cleanly, just giving guys a mirror full and making them mess up mentally, getting in the wall outside or just bumping off their line. And he's been smooth. He hasn't messed up yet, and I hope I'm not giving him the commentator's curse because it's been fun to watch.
So I've just noticed, too, that these laps are counting. These laps are counting because we were just on 3 to go. Now we're on 2 to go. So we could be set for a little shootout here.
Yeah, hopefully they added that, and it doesn't. It may actually have been set up differently. I think it's going to be an end of race here.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, because we're technically on the final lap, and the lights are still on the pace truck. So even if they get it to the start-finish line, so we can pretty much say Kelly Wheeler's won the race. And I was just going to mention, you not only got Jake Henry behind back in second spot, you've got Anthony Morano third, then you got your pick of Michael Vitale in fourth, my pick of Samuel Backman fifth, Scott Rayome in sixth, Bud Molyneux's been quick here tonight back there in seventh, Randy Shrees, again another consistent top 10 performer in eighth, Randall Dixon, fastest lap of the race back in ninth, and then Dylan Kinsey as well in that 83 machine. But looks like the checkered flag is just going to be thrown here. So, I mean, it's going to be official. We're going to end under yellow. So we can blame Dean for bringing out the caution and ending that race. That's what I'm going to go with anyway. But we'll take a look at the official results coming up. I don't know whether they're going to. I believe they're just going to pull up. Yeah. All right. So the top three should go to the front straight away. So feature race results coming up here for the Osh Weekend Speedway Monday Night Madness winter season. Week number 12 here at the Knoxville Raceway. Kelly Wheeler gets the win over Jake Henry in second. Anthony Morano third. Michael Vitale fourth. Samuel Backman make up your top five. Scott Rayome back to sixth. Bud Molyneux seventh. Randy Shrees eighth. Randall Dixon ninth. Dylan Kinsey make up your top 10. Then we go back to Logan Wentz in position number 11. Matt Schaefer in 12th. Jeffrey Barker in 13th. 14th is Jason Butterfield. Patrick Spangler in 15th. John Morano 16th. 17th was Bob DeGood. Steve Moore in 18th. The last car on the lead lap. And of course, Stephen Bixler 1 lap down in 19th. GJ Boydell back there in position of 20. Dean Reynolds in 21st. Dan McLaren and Braden Bennett finishing 4 laps down back in position at number 23. So, while that race did finish under the safety flag, it was Kelly Wheeler who picks up the win. And but I got to say that race, I mean, I thought we were going to dream about going the distance, going green to checker, but I mean, when it's all said and done, Kelly Wheeler comes away victorious here tonight.
Yeah, robbed of a good finish there with that little iRacing settings mishap, but we were treated to a pretty darn good race there.
All right, so wait for the top 3 to get out of the virtual race cars and join us for a quick little interview. Again, we'll talk to Kelly Wheeler, Anthony Morano, along with Jake Henry. As Anthony Morano is ready and out of the race car. Home in third place tonight, the 32 car of Anthony Morano. Anthony, congratulations on third place finish here tonight. You must be happy with the finish.
Yeah, I'll definitely take a third place, Brett. This is definitely not one of my better tracks. I always struggle here, so main thing was to try to stay ahead of Sam there for points, and I mean he got the bonus points in qualifying, but I think I got him by 2 spots here tonight, so it should pretty much equal out. So we'll see how that goes going into next week for the championship, and that's pretty much the game plan. Just plug away and try to pick up a title.
Tonight, this track had a number of different lines. You kept searching around. How did you feel inside the cockpit of the 32 car?
I just couldn't find the speed I was looking for anywhere. I tried slider, lost a lot of ground. Tried running just the middle right above the slick, had nothing there. Felt most comfortable on the bottom, but didn't have any real speed there. I mean, Kelly and Jake Henry there, they just drove away from me like I was standing still. So it's kind of just this hold on and see how it would work out. Car was just not where I needed it to be tonight.
Anthony, congratulations on third place finish here tonight at the Knoxville Raceway, Oshweekend Speedway. Monday Night Madness for the Glen Ridge Motorsports Park 350 modifieds. Anthony, before we let you go, we'll let you thank everybody involved on this 32 car.
Gotta thank my wife Sherry, teammates at Full Throttle Motorsports, Super Dirt Car Series, Hi Mom Lens, DJ Sim Shop, GripHack.com, MDI TV. Shout out to my buddy Kelly there for picking up the win tonight. Brett, you for doing a broadcast, and everyone here at Coast to Coast.
Anthony, well done on third place. Good luck next week for championship night.
Thank you, sir.
Anthony Morano home in position number 3. Zach, I tell you what, I'm going to let you chat to the runner-up driver of Jake Henry.
Helped me a lot.
Hey, Jake, Zach in the booth, man. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, congratulations on your second place finish tonight. I know it's got to be kind of a tough pill to swallow. You looked like you were the dominant car there for most of the night. Do you think if we wouldn't have had that settings mishap, do you think you had anything for Kelly on a green-white checkered restart?
I think I might have. I really think if that one when I was in the lead there, that guy lost it or something. He was coming up the track on the front stretch, and I thought he was going to take me out. And I had to check up big time, and that's how Kelly got around me. If that didn't happen, it might have played a different game, but, it is what it is. It's racing.
Oh, okay. So from the camera angle I saw, it looked like to me you got in the fence. I didn't realize you were lifting there because of a car coming up the track. So thank you for the clarification on that. Yeah, that's got to make it a little worse. I mean, I know, you got to watch what you say, not trying to get you in any trouble here, but do you think that first lap car you came up on, do you think the tough time you had getting around him kind of cost you the race there?
Not at all. I was actually just following that car, just waiting for the right time to pass him. He really wasn't holding me up too bad, so I was just being patient.
Well, Jake, congratulations, man. You had a quick car all night. You showed it by winning the heat race and, I mean, dominating most of the feature there. But, stuff's going to happen, and sometimes you're going to have bad luck. Can't always fall your way. But who do you got out there you want to thank on your second place finish?
Mike Vitale at Vitale Motorsports, Gears Unlimited, my teammates Mike, Billy, and Randy. You guys for putting this on, and that's about it.
Well, Jake, once again, congratulations, and hopefully we talk to you again next week.
Sounds good. Thank you, Zach.
It's Jake Henry, your second place finisher, and we'll go ahead. We'll bring up the leader here for Brett. Why don't you talk to Kelly here?
All right, home in first place tonight is the 11 machine of Kelly Wheeler. Kelly, congratulations on a first place victory here tonight at the Knoxville Raceway. Well, I got to say, you surprised me there with the speed that you showed. You got up to Jake Henry, and with a bit of luck, you're able to get into the race lead, and of course that yellow comes out. But hey, you'll take it when you can get it right. Congratulations on this victory.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. I need it.
Man, it was always going to be a tough race out there tonight at the Knoxville Raceway. Were you surprised to see you guys get like 26, 27 laps green flag before that yellow come out?
Yeah, I was very surprised. That normally don't happen very many times, but I'm glad it did.
What was different tonight where you're able just to drive away from the rest of the field in this 11 car?
Well, I'm getting a little bit better at the throttle control on these tracks, and plus I've been getting a little help from some of the FTM guys. I've been racing with them. I Right Smart, and they've been helping me out, so I give thanks to them.
Were you happy to see the caution come out? Were you sort of worried about your tyres at all when that yellow did come out?
No, not really. To be honest with you, my tires never gave up none at all. It was just hooked up. I don't know. I was kind of worried when the caution came out because then I was going to have Jake and Anthony right behind me again. So I was worried about that a little bit. But as far as my tires, my tires are still in pretty good shape.
Well, congratulations on a dominating performance here tonight at the Knoxville Raceway. You get the win here in the Osh Weekend Speedway Monday Night Madness Glenridge Motorsports Park 350A Modifieds. Kelly, before we let you go, we'll let you thank everybody involved on this 11 car that makes it all possible for you to run around each night.
Well, I got to thank my wife for letting me do this. I got to thank DNS Side and Remodeling, Ingersoll Rand Incorporated. I got to thank some of the guys at the FTM for helping me out. I got to thank you for doing what you do in broadcasting. And I want to thank C2C for giving us a good place to race.
Kelly, congratulations on the win, buddy. Well done.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
There we go. Kelly Wheeler, your winner here tonight from the Knoxville Raceway. And again, we've still got the Rebels 360 Wing Sprint Cars presented by Malcolm's Mills Mill Running. That is a tongue twister and a half, Zach.
Yeah, it is. I have a tough time doing that one whenever I fill in for Marty on Monday nights. I'm glad you did it and not me.
All right, well, we're going to take a quick break here on Ultimate Dirt TV and on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. We're going to be right back with some 360 Wing Sprint Cars. We're going to have two divisions for the 360 Wing Sprint Cars to finish up the night. First up, the Malcolm's Mills Mill Riding Rebels 360 Wing Sprint Cars. And then, of course, we'll finish off the night with the Dylan Westbrook Racing Renegades 360 Wing Sprint Car Division, the A and B division of your Osh Weekend Speedway Monday Night Madness. Back on the other side of these quick commercial breaks.
it's time for another edition of RSN Trackside, powered by Bob Johnson Auto Group on Rock Sports Network. Kiss on the champion. Trying to be a
bit of a hiatus, so let's get. Tonight when we talked about it.
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our weekly race chat.
Adam Ross and Clinton Jeffrey are live and interactive every Tuesday night. Rivals Race Chat is your home for race discussion, debate, news, interviews, and more. They'll even take your questions and comments live on the air and talk to some of the newsmakers each week. Tune in every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. on GeForce TV.
All right, we are back here on Ultimate Dirt TV and on the Coast to Coast Racing Network here for your Weekend Speedway Monday Night Madness for the Malcolms, Mills, Mill Riding, Rebels 360 Winged Sprint Cars, essentially the B division for this Monday night and Weekend Speedway Monday Night Madness series. Again, Brett Wheeler joined alongside Zach Chapman, as I was already talking, but I forgot to unmute in Discord. But again, we are live here from the sprint car capital of the world, the Knoxville Raceway, for what is the second last round of the series. It is not championship night, it is championship night is next week, and we are looking at a field of, I believe, 20 drivers who have signed into the pit area for tonight. Again, the format, we'll have qualifying here in just a few moments time. We'll have 3 heat races on the program. There'll be 8 laps in distance. However, there is going to be an inversion. So with the 3 heats, the inversion is going to be 12, which means if you qualify 12th, well, you're going to start on pole of one of 3 heat races. However, the top fastest 3 qualifiers will come from that 4th starting spot. There'll be no consolation racing here tonight. After the 3 heats, so we'll straight into a warm-up session, and then we'll get ready for the 30-lap main event. Again, we just come off the Glenridge Motorsports Park 358 Modifieds, where Kelly Wheeler picked up the win from Jay Henry and Anthony Morano. How's all this one going to play out? Well, we're not too far away from finding out, but Zach, I know probably you'll be keeping an eye on what this racetrack is going to do, because you'll be coming up in the Renegades 360 division thanks to Dylan Westbrook Racing, probably at around 8:15 to 8:30.
Yeah, I'll definitely be using some of these heat races as test sessions. iRacing allows you to go out there and ghost drive if you want. So I'll be going out there and see where I'm at comparatively. But I expect good racing. But you hit the nail on the head when you were talking about the invert earlier. You're going to see guys play that real hard. We watched it in the 358s. It's very hard to pass on a fresh track in a heat race. So you're going to see guys maybe, try to slow down qualifying a little bit to try to play that invert. It's going to be a tough game to play.
Again, just looking at the racetrack, it is still very fresh. There's probably a slick line all the way through turn number 1 and 2. You're still able to hit the bottom side of the speedway. But again, we roll into qualifying session right now. These drivers have 2 minutes. They get a chance to do 2 laps around the Knoxville Raceway. Let's bring up the qualifying, because something that I normally don't do is that I normally don't bring up the qualifying times and stuff like that. So we're going to do that, and we're also going to take a look at the drivers on the racetrack. All right, let's take a look at Jack Clevenger. He's going to be one of the first cars on the raceway. Again, these drivers, 2 minutes to turn 2 laps. And right around about a minute to go is when you're going to see times start to come through. But watching Jack Clevenger at the moment in car number 78, should be one of the first few cars to go in and lay down a lap time, as he's going to go second quick as Roger Craig goes quick time with a 15.521. Jack Clevenger with a 15.565 on his opening lap, as lap number 2 for Jack Clevenger is going to be a little bit quicker. It'll be quick time with a 14.417. A 14.417. Keep an eye on this Aces Up Sim Sports number 27 machine of Chad Griggs, as he is now going to go quick time by nearly 2/10 of a second. Chad Griggs to position number 1 with a 15.248, a 15.248. And I know that he's going to be very, very quick around the Knoxville Raceway, because he's also going to go quicker again. He has got this field covered, Zach, by nearly 4/10 of a second, 15.034. That is flying around the Knoxville Raceway.
Yeah, he's in his own area code.
That is fast. Maybe something to keep an eye on when looking at the qualifying coming up for the Dylan Westbrook Racing 360 Renegade divisions later on. Again, that is the A division, but there it is, done and dusted qualifying as we get set for the first heat race of the night. Let's take a look at your starting lineup. It's going to be Brandon Dittmer in the 83 machine. He'll line up on pole position. The 814 car, I should say, of Brad Waite lines up at a position number 2. Jack Hitt will go from the third starting spot in the 217 car to the outside. Quick time man by nearly 4/10 of a second. Chad Griggs will start from position number 4. Greg Parmalee in car number 4 for SRC will line up at a position number 5, and driving the 888 machine of Steve Mora will start from position number 6. And then we go back to Stephen Bixler in the 75 car from position number 7. Now, I think it is your turn to pick first, because you actually, I'm going to give you the win in that one. Okay, so you're 3-1 up, by the way.
Yeah, still a long night. Long night to go.
All right, so who you got?
Let's see who I want here. I mean, he was a half a second faster than the field in qualifying. How can I not take Chad Griggs? I'd almost have to smack myself in the face if I didn't take him after seeing that.
All right, I'm going to go the man that starts so he's inside. Jack Hitt in the 217 car, although I was looking at Brad Waite, but I think he's going to have some sort of issues to where he's not going to be able to make the start of this one. But for the moment, we are looking at 6 cars on the racetrack. So, well, now that moves Chad Griggs up to the outside of the front row. Well, that's GG on that one. I can't see him getting beat from the outside of the front row.
No, like I say, I mean, some of those guys, like, as much as, you don't want to admit it, they do play the game for the invert. But they did not play a half a second game for the invert, I can tell you that. No, that shocked the heck out of that field seeing that time.
Now, there's obviously a difference between qualifying and racing because, qualifying, you've got the racetrack to yourself. Racing's a different story. So, he does have that against him, but again, nearly 4/10 of a second. I really don't think that outside front row car, Chad Griggs, is going to get beat, but who knows? I could be wrong. Here we go. 8 laps on the board. Heat race number 1. Is this going to be Brandon Dittmer to get to the top of the racetrack down the back straight away? As now Chad Griggs is going to find his way to the inside as Dittmer and Griggs will go side by side. I think Dittmer right there is probably just a little bit too high. Lap number 1, gee, that was very close, only a few 1,000 of a second. Griggs will slide up in front of Dittmer, and Dittmer back to the inside. They drag race off turn number 2, and your battle is on for the race lead.
Yeah, you got to hand it to the Spider Monkey there, Brandon Dittmer. He is not giving up. He's really throwing it in hard, trying to diamond under for that crossover. But now Chad's going to try to hold the middle, but Brandon's still going to be able to force his way under there. He's going to throw it in again and then going into 3.
You keep an eye on these two up front, but you've also got to keep an eye on the 217 car of Jack Hitt. Hitt's trying to come after your top 2 right now. Oh boy, Dittmer goes for a wild ride. That is a huge ride down the back straightaway. And he just got up over the right rear there of Chad Griggs as we stay green. 4 down with 4 to run. And boy, it's our picks. Chad Griggs along with Jack Hitt. And again, how much damage is on that right rear of the 27 car? Do you think there's going to be enough damage to stop that 27 car from getting around here nicely, Zach?
I wouldn't think that there'd be too much from that. iRacing is normally pretty forgiving to the right rear of the car that gets hit. Now, we saw Brandon, on the other hand, not very forgiving for the left front car there that goes up over the right rear, but kind of shocked here. Chad either must have hit an amazing line in qualifying or his setup is just that much different because Jack is staying right in that shadow.
Yeah, again, I believe he's one of the drivers in contention as the fast lap of the race. Chad Griggs with a 15.497. Jack Hitt just turned his fastest lap with a 15.578 as they'll come to the white flag. 1 lap left to go right now for Chad Griggs. It's going to be 4-1 your way. I'm not too happy about this because I generally don't get beat, but well, I tell you what, this might be the night where I do get beat as they work into 3 and 4 for the final time. Gee, I tell you what, if we had another couple of laps, I think that might have been a different story. But yeah, I tell you what, Chad Griggs is going to get to start on pole of tonight's feature event. And you know what that means? It means that when it comes to the 3 heats and the feature, I get first pick. So, gee, I already know who I'm going with in feature race time. But Chad Griggs will get the win in heat race number 1. Jack Hitt, Steve Moore, Greg Parmalee, Stephen Bixler. Brandon Dittmer took out a wild ride to come home in position number 6 with Brad Waite not making the start of heat race number 1. Zach, I'll let you go through the lineup here for heat race number 2.
Yeah, starting on the inside of the front row, and the 40 is going to be the 47 of Steven Stewart. On his outside is going to be the 181 of Jeffrey Kemper. Inside of row number 2, and the 747 is going to be the Bass man, Roger Craig. Outside of him is going to be the 78 of Jack Clevenger. Inside of row number 3 is going to be the 46 of Joe Backus. Outside, the 94 of Gary Offit. And rounding out the field tonight, in the 09 is Brian Moore Jr.
All right, I'm going to take Jack Clevenger in this one. I'm going to go from the outside of the second row.
That's a good pick. Jack's always quick, especially at these more hammered downish tracks. He's really good at hanging it up there against the wall. But I'm going to go with my teammate there in the 181 of Jeffrey Kemper. He's been a big improvement this year in the sprint cars, and I think he might be able to edge this one out.
All right, well, let's see what happens here as we are going to go around one more time behind the Steve King Foundation pace truck, along with the iRacing.com official pace truck here at the Knoxville Raceway. Heat race number 2, you're watching the Malcolms Mills Mill Riding Rebels, the B division for the 360 wing sprint cars here on Oshweekend Speedway Monday Night Madness in what is normally championship week, but of course it's championship week, I think, for everything else except the Oshweekend Speedway Monday Night Madness. That is in fact been pushed back to next week. So there's a lot on the line, not only tonight, but of course to get yourself in a good spot for Championship Week next week. Where is Championship Week next week, by the way?
That's a great question. You know, while you're doing this call here, I'm going to do my job, and I'm going to pull up the schedule for it.
Charlotte.
Okay, you're already quicker than me.
Yes, listen, I've already got the Coast to Coast website up already. I have that up every time, whether it's on a Monday night or whether it's on a Thursday night. But the green flag is out. We are underway here in heat race number 2. Stephen Stewart, Jeffrey Kemper. Kemper squeezes around the outside to take over the race. Now here comes Jack Clevenger with a run on the outside of Stephen Stewart as they work off turn number 2. It's going to be Jeffrey Kemper, Zach, to lead lap number 1.
Yeah, he's got that right rear set, not really swaying a lot coming off the corner, and he looks like a rocket right now, able to build up. As Jack's going to try to make the bottom work. We'll have to see if he can keep up the speed here coming out of 4.
Well, it's going to be a race for the ages here in heat race number 2. Clevenger trying to move by Jeffrey Kemper, but Jeffrey Kemper is your race leader. Clevenger fastest lap with a 15.631, although Jeffrey Kemper with a 15.648, so they're very similar sort of lap times at the moment, Zach, but just right there as they work through 1 and 2, Kemper looks to keep the car nice and straight, and that's playing in his favour right now as he pulls away to 0.3 of a second lead over Jack Clevenger.
Yeah, you're exactly right. It's all about keeping that car straight. He's losing a little bit of time to Jack on corner entry, especially in 3 and 4, but he's just able to keep it so straight that he builds most of the lead right back by the end of the straightaway. So Jack's really going to have to try to keep that right rear from swaying like it is there if he wants to keep up that speed and get a run on Jeff.
On board Jack Clevenger right now as he tries to run down Jeffrey Kemper in that 181 machine, as Jeffrey Kemper just turns the fastest lap of heat race number 2 with 15.565. So, well, Kemper, as long as he doesn't make that mistake again on the exit of turn number 4, he just caught the guardrail there on the front straightaway. I believe that Jeffrey Kemper could be going. He's only a lap and a half away, Zach, from a heat race victory here in heat race number 2 to start on the outside of your main event later on tonight.
Yeah, he's going to kiss the wall again a little bit. He wanted to make it look a lot closer here.
Well, Kemper's going to lead him down into turn number 3 and 4 for the final time. Heat race number 2. Checkered flag is going to come out. Jeffrey Kemper gets the win in the 181 machine. Jack Clevenger home in 2nd. 3rd, Ryan Moore Jr. Gary Offit in 4th. Roger Craig in 5th. Then you go back to Joe Backers and Stephen Stewart for the drivers to round out this heat race number 2 as we get set to take a look at the results before our 3rd and final heat race of the evening. Jeffrey Kemper, Jack Clevenger, Brian Moore Jr., your top 3. Gary Offit, Roger Craig, your top 5. Joe Backer, Stephen Stewart, the 7 drivers in heat race number 2. Heat number 3 will look like this. Talon Ulibarri lines up the 19 machine from pole position. Dean Reynolds in the 79 car from position number 2. Randy Shrees in the 56 from position number 3. GJ Boydell, 3rd quickest here tonight, will line up out of position number 4. Mike Cranmer lines up the 70 machine from position number 5, and the 88 of Dan McLaren lines up out of position number 6. Zach, are you liking this one? By the way, keeping score, you're 5-1.
Hey, man, racing with these guys, 4 or 5 nights a week has its advantages, right?
Okay.
You got to get to learn their tendencies.
Yeah,
and,
so you're a cheat.
As much as you don't like to admit it, I have my very weak tracks, and you come to some tracks, there are guys who really excel here. Like Griggs, one of them always excels here. Patrick Spengler always excels here, and it's just you got to play into the favorites. But I like Randy Shreves in this one.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. All right, I'll go Dean Reynolds just because I want to blame Dean again. And if he doesn't win, well, I'm going to blame him again. All right, Ulibarri and Reynolds, front row, and we are underway. Shree's got a good start as well. Will he keep it locked out of the bottom side? Will he go to the race lead? Here comes Reynolds around the outside in that number 79 car. But here comes Ulibarri back to the inside as they're working at 3 and 4. And look at Boydell around the outside of Shrees. But Dean Reynolds is going to lead the opening lap of the night. Top boy Shrees gets into the back of Ulibarri. Dan McLaren right there with him as Cranmer goes on by the position number 5. No, he doesn't just yet. But watching Ulibarri right there work it with Randy Shrees. But how about GJ Boydell straight up into position number 2?
Yeah, carrying the speed over for qualifying. I mean, he did qualify 3rd, having to start 4th, but looks like the speed didn't leave the track. He's still there, but meanwhile, Dean Reynolds way up top, and he is driving that thing straight as an arrow. He is quick.
Well, the Full Throttle Motorsports number 79 machine after picking up a win last Thursday night on Gambler Motorsports Thursday Night Thunder. Of course, now turns his attention to your Oshweekend Speedway. Malcolm's Mills Mill Riding Monday Night Madness Rebels 360 Wing Sprint Car Division. And just like that, we are ready to start the back half of this final heat race of the night. Randy Shrees, meanwhile, closing in on GJ Boydell. And Shrees spoke to him last week as well. He said he was looking forward to Knoxville, and he might be one to watch later on in tonight's A main event. But Right there, Dean Reynolds, GJ Boydell, and Randy Shrees, your top three. Dan McLaren, Mike Cranmer, and Talon Ulibarri, who started on pole, is back in that sixth spot. Randy Shrees is coming up the Boydell here for the runner-up spot.
Yeah, he's got to make something happen quick if I don't want to lose a race to you here, because Dean's liking what he sees. He's keeping the gap to Greg, and he sees Randy looking real aggressive here in the middle of 3 and 4.
Not liking what I'm seeing with Randy Shrees and GJ Boydell. That means only Dean Reynolds is now going to be a lap away from heat race victory. And give me my second pick of the night to get a win out of 7 races. You're now 5-2 up as Dean Reynolds is going to be victorious in race number 3. GJ Boydell, Randy Shrees will come home for the top 3. Dan McLaren, Mike Cranmer, and Talon Ulibarri to make up the drivers in heat race number 3. Let's take a look at the results. There it is. It's official. Dean Reynolds gets the win. GJ Boydell in second, Randy Shreves third, Dan McLaren fourth, Mike Cranmer fifth, and Talon Ulibarri to make up the 6 drivers. All right, we'll take a quick break here on Ultimate Dirt TV and on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. We'll come back with your main event on the other side of this quick commercial break. All right, we are back here on Ultimate Dirt TV and on the Coast to Coast Racing Network for your Osh Weekend Speedway Monday Night Madness for the Malcolms Mills Mill Riding Rebels 360 Wings Sprint Car Division, your B Division here tonight from the Sprint Car capital of the world. Britt Wheeler joined alongside Zach Chapman as we get set for our 30-lap feature event to come up here in just a few moments' time. In fact, we're getting ready right now to go through your starting lineup for the drivers in this one. Let's go through your 20 car field for tonight's A main event. Chad Griggs lines up on the pole position in car number 27. Jeffrey Kemper, the 181 machine, will start from position number 2. Dean Reynolds lines up the 79 machine from position number 3. Jack Hitt will start the 217 from position number 4. Jack Clevenger lines up the 78 machine from 5, and GJ Boydell will start from position number 6. Position number 7 with the 888 machine of Steve Moore. From 8, it's the 09 of Brian Moore Jr. From position number 9, it's the 56 car of Randy Shreves. From 10, the 4 of Greg Parmalee. And the back half of your field, Gary Offit in the 94 lines up at a position number 11. Dan McLaren in the 88 from position number 12. From position number 13, I did not have the grid up there like that. There we go. Stephen Bixel lines up the 75 machine from position number 13. Roger Craig in the 747 entry will start from position number 14. From position number 15, it's the 70 entry of Mike Cranmer. From 16, the 83 entry of Brandon Dittmer. The final 2 rows, Joe Backus lines up at a position number 17. From 18, it's Talon Ulibarri. And the final row, Brad Waite in the 814, alongside Stephen Stewart in card number 47. Oh, you know I'm going Chad Griggs in this one. Who you got for the feature event?
Yeah, I can't blame you. I'm stuck between my teammate there on the outside of the front row or Jack Hit. I don't want to jinx my teammate, and I don't want to necessarily jinx Jack. But Jack looked real fast in warm-ups, and I think I got to go with Jack Hit here.
Okay, I was going to say Jack Clevens is pretty quick around here as well.
Yeah,
And
all the
Randy-
Jacks are good.
And Randy Shreves. Randy Shreves ain't too bad.
Yeah, coming from 11th, though, that's
That
or
is
9th, wherever he is. That's going to be a tough one.
That's a stretch, but I mean, it's possible for a podium.
100%, but we both know what we think Chad Griggs is going to do here, and I need somebody up there close to him.
All right, here we go. Getting ready for the Malcolms Mills Mill Riding Rebels 360 Winged Sprint Car Division here on this Lost Weekend Speedway Monday Night Madness. 30 laps on the board. It's time to get dirty for 30. Chad Griggs and Jeffrey Kemper as they lead them down into turn number 1 and 2. Who's it going to be? It'll be Chad Griggs. But here comes Kemper with a run on the outside, and Jack Hit. He's right there with them as well as they work down into turn number 3.
Yeah, bold move by Kemper there. Chad Griggs looked like he was going to slide up the track, and Jeff just cranked the wheel right and went up higher than he thought Chad could go. Ooh, it's going to be interesting to see if they made it to the line.
Yeah, they definitely made it to the line. I think Chad Griggs was the driver that was able to get to the race lead and hold on to lap number 1. I think that was Brad Waite in the 814
By
car.
0.004 of a second.
There you go. Oh, in fact, it was not. It was Talon Ulibarri there. Ulibarri was involved in something here. No, in fact, I'll go back a little further. It all started with Stephen Stewart in that 47 car. Oh, just got into Roger Craig there on the front straightaway. Unfortunately, Ulibarri goes around. But that will be the first caution of the night. And well, at least it come on lap number 1, and at least we're not going to have to blame Dean Reynolds for screwing up the server again, right?
No, yeah. That's good. Dean's off the hook in this one. But hopefully the guys calm down, because we were treated to a nice, 27 laps green flag before we even got that caution. So this is a little bit of a change here. They're trying to make us work.
Absolutely. All right, still lights out. Still lights on the iRacing.com and Steve King Foundation pace vehicle. So Chad Griggs, like I said, 4 1,000ths of a second. I knew it was close. I just didn't know the exact number. But it actually didn't look like 4 1,000ths of a second. More looked like, probably about 25, wasn't there? A quarter of a tenth or something, half a tenth.
Yeah, looking here, since I'm test driving, I can cheat and pull up the standings, and it had him 0.004 behind.
So look at this. He has lane choice as the leader, which he's opted to go to the outside. Is that, again, well, we both run sprint cars, but if you were the pole car, would you choose the outside on the restart, or would you go to the inside?
Yeah, I would choose the outside here, just for the simple fact of leaders control the start. If you had to go on the green flag, no chance. And heck, I'd give up that bottom. I'd throw a slider from where in 1 and 2. But with him controlling the start like he did, able to get that big jump, he's going to control the race now.
All right, here we go back to green as Jeffrey Kemper going to slide up in front of Jack Clevenger. Clevenger splits Jack Hit and Jeffrey Kemper, and Jack Hit now going to fall back to position number 4 as here comes Jack Clevenger. I did say Clevenger might be one to watch in this one as he just works the bottom side, slides it to the middle of the race, but off turn number 4. Meanwhile, your battle is on for 3rd and 4th position. Jeffrey Kemper in that 181 machine gets 4 wheels up in the fluff, trying to work it upstairs. Jack Hit, then you go back to Dean Reynolds. Randy Shreves has found his way to position number 6 after starting in row number 5. Brandon Dittmer Dittmer in that 83 car, who took a wild ride in the earlier heat race. As here comes Randy Shrees now trying to put the move on Dean Reynolds down into turn number 1.
Yeah, battling all over the track. Jack Clevenger got real aggressive there in 1 and 2 and came up from the bottom. Well, there he is under your leader now. We have a battle going down the front stretch.
Gee, Clevenger stuck the bottom side like it was glue in turn number 3 and 4. He's just turned the fast lap of the race by 0.2 of a second with a 16.049. Chad Griggs had a 16.379 on that last lap, so that was 0.3 of a second difference. Although now, probably thinking middle 1 and 2, if you can stick the bottom in 3 and 4, that is really going to be the place to be. You're watching Chad Griggs and Jack Clevenger. Still not surprised to see Clevenger stick the bottom side. Gee, he gets a run, and now Clevenger and Griggs probably 0.5 of a second between the pair as they work down through 1 and 2. And now Jack Clevenger, new race leader, but Chad Griggs says, nah, not just yet, sonny. I want back that race lead. I want the number 1 position. Slider coming out, somewhat of a little slider there from Jack Clevenger, and Jack Clevenger is going to lead what is lap number 8.
Yeah, I don't know where what he found and where it is, but boy, Jack Clevenger has a rocket running the bottom there in 3 and 4. We're going to have to see if Chad Griggs can do the same thing and answer the bell here.
And that he does. He gets back to the race lead, so the pair just switching lines in 3 and 4. Now Griggs will go to the middle of the raceway. Clevenger tries to stick the bottom side off turn number 2. Clevenger's got that inside line to make it work. Here comes Jack Hitt. Jack Hitt. So look at this, your top 3. They all run different lines, and they are really starting to close in. We're going to see a great 3-way battle here for the race leaders. Jack Clevenger takes over the race lead. Here comes Jack Hitt with a run on the outside of Chad Griggs as they work down the back straightaway.
Yeah, and go back one further here, Brett. We've got a 4-car battle out of nowhere. Brandon Dittmer up 12 spots. He's in the picture, man. What a race.
Well, you only have to go back to that heat race where Brandon Dittmer took a wild ride on the back straightaway. But there's your top 3. So Dittmer's only a second away from your race leader in the 78 car of Jack Clevenger. Chad Griggs still runs back into position number 2. Third is Jack Hitt, Brandon Dittmer 4th. And they got a 1.5 second gap back to Randy Shrees and Jeffrey Kemper as Kemper just caught the inside berm. Now he's going to lose 2 positions. Gee, that 181 car just looks a little squirrely right there, but we go back up for the battle between 2nd and 3rd right now. And again, Jack Hitt just rails the cushion through turn number 1 and 2. He keeps the car nice and straight. Now gets a run on the outside of Chad Griggs. I think maybe top 1 and 2 and bottom 3 and 4 if he can hit it, Zach.
Yeah, that seems to be the way right now. As you see Chad just able to get a better run in 3 and 4, thinking about going up on him. Now throws the slider, try to break Jack's run, gets in the wall a little bit. Will Jack be able to clear him here in 3 and 4?
Well, slider from Jack Hitt. Griggs will turn it back underneath him while these two are battling. I think Jack Hitt may have had second at the start-finish line. There was very little in it between the pair as they worked through 1 and 2. Griggs held the bottom side. Now he'll hold the bottom into turn number 3 and 4 once again. But Jack Clevenger still your race leaders. They start to approach the back marker of the 19 car of Talon Ulibarri. And again, he's working at the top of the racetrack, so it probably won't play a factor for the top 2 of Jack Clevenger and Chad Griggs. They both work the bottom side all the way around this half a mile of a racetrack here at the sprint car capital of the world. Meanwhile, Jack Hitt, Brandon Dittmer, they're going to have to probably alter their line as well.
Yeah, and it's tough for them. You know, it seemed like Jack almost had second on Chad, but he threw that slider in 3 and 4, wouldn't commit to the bottom, and he's doing the same thing there. He's not willing to try it, even though he sees how fast those guys are in front of him on the bottom in 3 and 4.
I'll tell you what, if Jack Hitt could hit the bottom in 3 and 4, but also get the run in 1 and 2, we might go back to this 3-car battle. And just like that, other than that first caution there after lap number 1, we've had a pretty good green flag run of what is now going to be 18 laps of the green flag as we've got another car coming out of the pits. I think that might be Joe Backus coming out in that 46 machine as he went back to the pit area. But again, your battle on screen. Clevenger just missed the bottom side of the exit at turn number 4. He may have caught the infield berm. And now here comes Chad Griggs. They work to the back of the 70 car of Mike Cranmer off turn number 2.
Down on the exit, you know, you got to wonder if that's throttle control or maybe Chad played it smart in the beginning, just saved that right rear tire and was real easy, made sure he could keep Jack in his sights because he is quick now, Brett.
Absolutely, as they get by the 7 entry of Mike Cranmer. Again, he'll get put a lap down under green flag conditions here at the Knoxville Raceway. Jack Hitt, you can still see that 217 car just trying to pester away at the top two. He has not let him get out of their sights, but your battle again is still on for the race lead. We're a heat race distance away from finishing the Malcolm's Mills. Mill riding Rebels 360 Wing Sprint Car Division, the B Division here for the Oshweekend Speedway. Monday Night Madness, but Jack Clevenger, as the wing says, he's all in at the moment, and he is your race leader. And now he starts to pull away more from Chad Griggs in the 27 car.
Yeah, Chad tried to adjust his line there in 1 and 2, try to run that diamond line a little bit. It helped him carry a little more speed into 3 and 4. Anxious to see what the difference in lap times were. Jack was still faster last time by, but this caution may just be what these two needed to make it a little more interesting.
I just noticed too, have a look who's in 4th place, Randy Shrees, and the caution coming out at the right time, because we're going to have 5 to go once we go back green, and 5 laps with Jack Clevenger, Chad Griggs, Jack Hitt, Randy Shrees, Brandon Dittmer at top 5. I think Stephen Stewart started position number 20 as well. He's up to position number 6.
And if you pick if Randy ends up getting by Jack here, I'm almost going to have to give you a bonus point for the 3 you recommended.
Gee, wouldn't this be a pick to pick the top 3? Well, I mean, I like I said, I did pick Griggs because I spoke to Chad last week on a Wednesday night, and he said that, you know, Knoxville's one of his better tracks. He loves getting around here, and he's got he's basically got a championship race coming up on Wednesday night here at Knoxville. So right now, this is actually probably a good test and tune session for him.
Yeah, he's run. We do a Knoxville Nationals once a year, and he ran that before and dominated the whole thing. And out of nowhere, I think with 2 or 3 laps to go, Patrick Spangler ended up stealing it from him. Chad was running low on gas, so he was having to pace himself a little bit. But Chad definitely knows how to get around here, and I would not be surprised if we see a slider on the last lap for the win.
Well, he's got a little bit to think about on how he wants to attack these last 5 laps. But he's going to have to do something different because we're on a single file restart. But Jack Clevenger's been pretty good at running the bottom side. You're not going to throw a slider on someone. You're going to have to find another way to get around. You're going to have to go through the middle, or you're going to have to send it upstairs. So he's got a lot of work to do to get by that 78 car of Jack Clevenger. But again, don't count out the 217 car. Jack Hitt, Randy Shrees in the 56 machine, who had come from the 5th row, mind you. Again, you go back to Brandon Dittmer, who come from deep in the field. And I'm pretty sure Stephen Stewart as well. Like I said, he come from position number 20. He's up plus 14 positions. Brandon Dittmer up plus 11 as well. So fair few drivers coming from deep in this field as we work as to complete lap number 25, and there's 5 to run.
Yeah, good restart for the top 2. Kind of caught Jack Hitt sleeping as he had Randy Shrees all over him there. But now Brandon Dittmer looking for the 4th place position.
Dittmer to the inside on Shreves as they work down the front straightaway. Stephen Stewart right there with him as well. Jack Hitt fending off the challenge from both Shreves, Dittmer and Stewart as they work down the back straightaway. Into 3 and 4 we run. To the low side once again goes Jack Clevenger, as long as he doesn't get off the bottom side. I don't think Jack Clevenger is going to get beat here in that 78 machine unless he makes a big enough mistake. Will go yellow.
No, he made a little bit of a mistake the previous lap in 1 and 2, and Chad almost got under him, but he was smart, didn't push the issue, and let him regain it. They lived to fight another day.
So Jeffrey Kemper, Brad Waite. In fact, sorry, not Jeffrey Kemper. It was Brad Waite and Dean Reynolds, the 2 drivers that had an issue on the exit of turn number 4. Reynolds comes off the cushion, comes down the racetrack as Brad Waite was somewhat sliding through the middle. Brian Moore Jr. involved in that one. I think Roger Craig got a piece of that one also. So Brad Waite will now go to the tail end of the field. And Jack Clevenger has to think about what he wants to do here in these final 2 laps. So we had a 5-lap sprint to the end. Now it changes to a green-white checker. Not overtime, but still a green-white checker to get this one wrapped up in the books. Look at Brandon Dittmer just working it upstairs, just having a good look at the marbles in turn number 3 and 4.
Yeah, he was one of those guys trying to rip the top. Randy Shreves, I noticed, moved off the bottom trying to run the top. But the problem with that is Jack Hitt's up there in front of him. He's been running it all race. So if they want to fight for that 3rd position, they're going to have to go low. Jack's been committed to that high side all night.
So the light's still flashing on the iRacing.com official paint truck and the Steve King Foundation safety car. So we are ready for a 1 to green signal off turn number 4, which means we are 2 laps away from seeing who will take out tonight's main event. And I'm just actually looking at, we're on board here right now with Brandon Dittmer, who was just working the top of the racetrack. And I'm going to say the top of the racetrack looks actually pretty good, but I mean, there's a difference to where he's running and where your race leaders are running as well. If you can hit that bottom side, and I love racing at Knoxville. I'm going to say my 3 favourite tracks here on iRacing would have to be USA, Knoxville, and Williams Grove. And when it comes to broadcasting races, I actually hate going to races at USA and Williams Grove.
Yeah, they can be quite a caution fest, but I myself have a soft spot for Williams Grove, Brett, because it's about 15 minutes up the road from my house.
Well, there you go. All right, getting ready to go back green off turn number 4. It's green, white checker. It's not overtime, but it is still 2 laps left to run for the 78 car of Jack Clevenger. Just missing the bottom just a little bit, but Griggs unable to get the run. As meanwhile, Randy Shreves looks to close in once again on Jack Hitt as Brandon Dittmer works to the low side. They'll come off turn number 4. They'll get in the white flag. Now we get to race it out to the start-finish line, and we're just half a mile away from one of these drivers picking up a victory. Here comes Chad Griggs with a run down the back straightaway. Who will it be down into turn number 3 and 4? Clevenger, Griggs right there with him as they work off turn number 4. Griggs trying to go to the inside. Jack Clevenger's going to win your main event. Jack Clevenger in the 78 car will pick up the win in tonight's Malcolm's Mills Mill Riding Rebels 360 Wing Sprint Car Division. And if that doesn't get you all excited for what's to come for in the Dylan Westbrook Racing Renegade Division, I don't know what will. But Jack Clevenger gets the win. Chad Griggs in second. Jack Hitt will be your top 3. Randy Shreves home in 4th. Brandon Dittmer up to position number 5. Stephen Stewart back there in 6th. Jeffrey Kemper 17. Reynolds 8. Dan McLaren 9th. And Stephen Bixler rounds out your top 10. Greg Parmalee in 11th. 12th is Steve Moore, GJ Boydell, Brian Moore Jr. and Brad Waite your top 15. You go back to Roger Craig on the last car on the lead lap in 16th. Mike Kramer 1 lap down in 17th. Talon Ulibarri, Joe Backers along with Gary Offord to be your 20 drivers in this A main event. And well, Zach, what do you take away from that one?
I mean, that was one of the most action-packed last laps we've had this season. I mean, there was Jack Hitt had given away 3rd place going to the white flag, and he was able to throw a slider back in 3 and 4 to regain 3rd. So much happened on that last lap, and all the guys did a great job of keeping it clean and making it look good.
All right, well, just waiting on the top 3 to find their way into the channel as we're going to chat with Jack Hitt first, the 3rd place driver here tonight in the 217 car. Jack, congratulations on a 3rd place finish here tonight, boy. This 217 car had some speed all night long. You challenged them for the race lead in the first half of the race, but you fell back just a little bit, and well, 3rd place is going to have to do for tonight.
Yeah, I felt like I had a lot of speed. I just kept making too many mistakes that couldn't stay up there with those 2 guys.
Sort of having a quick little debrief there. You've only finished, not even 60 seconds ago. Is there anything that you could have done differently, maybe when it comes to the setup or a different line on the racetrack? Do you think, if things had have gone differently, that you might have been 2 steps higher up on this podium?
Well, I probably should have tried the slider line a little more. I don't. Something felt good there on the last lap. Or maybe 1 to go or something. I pulled up behind Chad after that restart, but yeah, I don't know. It's tough.
Man, you were committed for the most part of that race, running that cushion. It was good. It just wasn't quite fast enough. Maybe again, we did you think about going to the bottom side in 3 and 4 at any stage during that race? Because those 2 guys in front of you just kept being glued down on the bottom side.
Yeah, I was prepared to run the high side the whole time. I was trying to run the 3 and 4 just a little bit lower because I saw how much faster it was. But I don't know. I think they probably had something set up to run the inside or something, because I'm just surprised how fast they were down there.
Jack, congratulations on the 3rd place finish here tonight at the Knoxville Raceway. Before we let you go, we'll let you thank everybody involved on this 217 car.
Yeah, I got to thank you guys for putting on the broadcast, everybody behind the scenes on the league, and I'm terrible. I haven't mentioned it all season long, but thanks to our sponsors that allow us to have these things broadcasted and everything. So shout out to them, and then of course shout out to my wife, giving me time to do it.
Jack, well on the third place, mate.
Thanks, guys.
There we go. Jack hit the third place driver here tonight. Zach Chapman going to catch up with the runner-up driver of Chad Griggs.
Hey, Chad, Zach in the booth, man. You got a copy?
I do. How are you?
Well, I'm doing all right, man. You first off, wow, in qualifying. I don't know if we've ever seen that big of a gap. That was very impressive. You kind of took the words out of our mouths. I've never seen a 4/10 gap. What line did you run in qualifying?
Just all the way on the bottom both ends of the track, as tight as you can get the berm.
I appreciate that. That was a selfish question because I'm about to race and, figured good information for everybody else.
I knew that was coming before it even started.
But
just takes a little throttle control to hold it down there. You're trying not to spin your tires. That's where your time comes from.
For sure. You were really quick. It seemed like you tried to maybe move up and run the middle, and that allowed Jack to get under you, or did you make a mistake? But it seemed like to me you were testing out a different line for a lap or two.
Well, yeah, tonight was just a test for me anyway. I think Brett sitting over there knows exactly what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. But I was just here to test some stuff, just some little bitty fine tuning on my setup stuff. I got it basically the way I want it for Wednesday night, but that was my own bonehead mistake. Like, we've ran 6 or 7 races this last week at Knoxville trying to get ready for this race Wednesday, and the bottom has never come in like right from the get-go. So I was like, okay, I know what line has always been the fastest. So I tried to run that line, and then I saw him creep up on the bottom there, and I was like, okay, well, I guess I'll follow the leader here and we'll just follow him. I was faster than he was on the bottom, but you can't get enough momentum as long as he runs the right line. You can't get enough momentum to get your nose in there and speak for the spot. So it is what it is. It was my own mistake. So I'll learn from that.
No, and I mean, truthfully, we've seen you enough around here. You're a smart enough racer to know. I saw Jack make a little mistake there before the final caution in 1 and 2, and you thought about peeking your nose in there, but you knew there wasn't a whole bunch of room. And like you say, if you could have forced the issue tonight, you were really quick. But smart, good, clean driving from you tonight. And I wish you the best of luck on Wednesday.
I appreciate it.
Well, congratulations on your second place finish. And you got anybody you want to thank for it?
Thank my guys over at STR, Scott Thomas and Racing. Thank you guys for broadcasting. Roger for the league to run. It's always a good time when I can get over here. It's a little bit early for me on most Monday nights, but every once in a while I can get over here and manage to get over here. And it's a good, fun time, good, clean place to run, test stuff, and just have a little fun. So, yeah, thank you guys.
Well, Chad, we always appreciate having you here, and you're real quick, and you're a good teacher for the rest of us. So it's always nice having you here. Are you going to run this next A race?
I got in there on accident one day, and they told me I can't run it.
As long as you finish in the top 5 and your IL, I didn't hear Roger mention the IL thing, but I would ask him and double check. You should be able to run this tonight, I would imagine.
Then we'll see. I may jump over there. I got to get me something to drink. My mouth's all dry after that. So,
congratulations, Chad, and like I say, man, good luck Wednesday, and hopefully we see you back within the next couple of weeks here.
Yeah, no problem. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Chad Griggs, your second place finisher. We'll go ahead and bring up our winner here, Jack Clevenger.
Jack, congratulations on this victory here tonight at the Knoxville Raceway. Boy, you stuck to the bottom side pretty much all race long. You got to the lead using that bottom side of the racetrack. Was that always going to be the game plan during the course of this 30-lap feature event?
Man, I had no intentions of running down there on the start. I figured it was going to be around the top slider line like that, and I kind of started, I started 5th there and had to run the bottom, and I was like, man, it's pretty good down here, and just started catching guys, passing guys. And maybe we'll stay here and see what happens, and and then I just kind of watched everybody. It was just like I got there and I couldn't hear him outside me, so I was like, oh, I'll stay here, and it seems to work.
And a couple of late race shallows, one with 5 to go, then one with 2 to go. Were you nervous at all? Were you nervous about your tyres, that how much you may have used up during the course of that 30-lap feature event?
Man, I'm always nervous on the yellow. It's like, I think we're running 23 or something laps straight there. I was like, all right, I'm in a groove. I just run my race here, and then yellow comes out, and it's just, it's just frustrating. You never know what the guy's going to do or what he's found that I don't know. And I was pretty easy on my tires, so I wasn't too worried about them. But they're always different after you go green again. So it's just the not knowing thing.
Well, you get the job done here at the Knoxville Raceway here for the Oswegan Speedway Monday Night Madness in the 360 Wing Sprint Car B Division. Will we see you coming up here with the A Division coming up here in a moment's time?
Yes, sir. I will be there.
All right, well, wish you the best of luck in that one. But, Jack, congratulations on the victory here tonight. Before we let you go, we'll let you thank everybody involved on this 78 car.
Just thank Premier Door Company, Donovan, Keith, Gary, Greg, all those guys on my team, and you guys for the broadcast, and Roger for putting up with me all this time. And, just thank everybody for the cool league to run in. And, just thank all you guys. Appreciate it.
There we go, Jack Clevenger, your winner here tonight from the Knoxville Raceway in the Malcolm Mills Mill Riding Rebels 360 Wing Sprint Cars here on Oswegan Speedway Monday Night Madness. Well, we'll take a quick break. On the other side of this, we'll come back with the Dylan Westbrook Racing Renegades 360 Wing Sprint Cars, the A Division here, to wrap up the Oswegan Speedway Monday Night Madness.
It's time for another edition of RSN Trackside, powered by Bob Johnson Auto Group on Rock Sports Network. Kiss on the champion. Trying to be a
Bit of a hiatus, so let's get. Tonight we'll be talking about it.
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our weekly race chat.
Adam Ross and Clinton Jeffrey are live and interactive every Tuesday night. Rivals Race Chat is your home for race discussion, debate, news, interviews, and more. They'll even take your questions and comments live on the air and talk to some of the newsmakers each week. Tune in every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. on GeForce TV.
All right, we are back here on Ultimate Dirt TV and on the Coast to Coast Racing Network here for your Weekend Speedway Monday Night Madness. It's time for the A Division for the Renegades 360 Wing Sprint Cars presented by Dylan Westbrook Racing. Good evening, race fans. Brett Wheeler joined alongside Zach Chapman, who is going to be doing double duty here tonight. Not only is he going to be helping us in the booth, but he's also going to be on the raceway as well. So when he's racing, obviously he won't be talking, but when he's not on the racetrack, he will be joining us with the microphone as we are qualifying already here tonight, and a field of 26 drivers getting set to take to the racetrack for what will be 4 heat races, 8 laps. Top 4 will go through to the A main event, and again that invert is going to be 4. So the number is 16 when it comes to qualifying, as we are done and dusted for this qualifying session as we get set for the first of 4 heat races on the program for our B main. Let's take a look at your starting lineup for what is B main. Heat race number 1 here at the Knoxville Raceway in the Dylan Westbrook Racing 360 Wing Sprint Car Division on Osh Weekend Speedway. Monday Night Madness. Tyler Wilson lines up on pole. Kyle Moonen will start from position number 2. Position number 3 will be Jesse Bandy, and at position number 4 it'll be the 78 of Jack Clevenger. Position number 5 will be the 7 car of Bob DeGood from 6, John Short in car 51, and Zach Chapman lines up at a position at number 7. Well, I'm going to ask you anyway, who's your pick for this one?
Man, definitely not me. I think this is the first time I've qualified dead last out of everyone that qualified. That's pretty humbling. But, Kyle Moonen is up there. He's battling with Stephen Goldner for the points lead. They're teammates, but I look for him to win this heat and really put the pressure on Stephen to do well in his heat.
Who'd you say, Kyle Moonen?
Yeah, Kyle Moonen.
Okay, all right. I tell you what, I'm going to go with the man that just picked up the feature win. I'm going to go with Jack Clevenger from that outside of the second row. I think he's going to be one to watch, so we're just waiting on, I believe, Jesse Beardy in the 49 car. Once he is in and once we are ready, we should be getting ready to roll away. And did Chad Greek steer you in the wrong direction about qualifying?
Man, it's got nothing to do with Chad. It's all driver here.
All driver, you reckon? All right. I got to say, it is pretty tough to try and commentate and be in a broadcast booth while you're trying to race. It takes a whole different concentration level. As we get set now, we've got our 7 starters in heat race number 1 rolling away behind the Steve King Foundation safety car. Hopefully we are already 1 to green. So we look at Tyler Wilson and Kyle Moonen on the front row. Jesse Bandy alongside Jack Clevenger in row number 2. Bob DeGood, John Short in row 3. And Zach Chapman to round out this field. Are we missing someone on the grid? Who got an EOL? Jesse Bandy got an EOL.
Yeah, Jesse had a penalty, yeah.
All right.
He'll be by me by the end of turn 2.
All right, well, if you get up close to the back of the 7K, you might just be able to take off when they take off. But here we go, heat race number 1. Here's the green as they work into turn number 1. It's going to be Moonen to the outside. Wilson runs the middle of the raceway. Jack Clevenger just found his way to position number 3, but Kyle Moonen, he'll slide it from the middle to the top of the racetrack in turn number 3 and 4. It's going to be Kyle Moonen to lead lap number 1 over Tyler Wilson as he shut the door. As here comes Jack Clevenger now trying to go back to the inside of turn number 2 and nose to tail to the back straightaway. Clevenger gets into the back of Wilson. Wilson slides up in front of Short. Chapman back there to position number 5 as well. And look out, John Short goes back to what is now nearly the last spot on the raceway. Slider from Jack Clevenger. Fastest lap of the race, Kyle Moonen with a 15.9 flat. Does Wilson now puts the move back to the 78 car. Jack Clevenger just struggling at the moment as here comes Zach Chapman in the 72 car as he'll work it to the cushion into turn number 1. Jesse Benny goes back to his inside. They drag race down off for turn number 2 down the back straightaway. Heat race number 1 of 4. Slider from Bandy on Chapman. Chapman back to the inside as he'll find his way to position number 4. Goes back to the marbles into turn number 1. Right through the middle off turn number 2. Closing in on Jack Clevenger, who went fastest qualifying here in the Dylan Westbrook Racing 360 Wing Sprint Car Renegade Division, your A Division. But it's still Kyle Moonen with a big gap of 1 second. Over Tyler Wilson, back there to position number 2. Jack Clevenger in 3rd. Fastest lap of the race, Kyle Moonen with a 15.571. He's got 2/10 on this field as he just rolls right through the middle of the raceway. We've got 2 to run here in heat race number 1 of 4. And again, top 4 going to transfer directly into the show. Everybody else, fifth thumb back, will find themselves coming through the B main as we come to 1 lap to run here in heat race number 1. And it's all Kyle Mooner at the moment. Bandit to the inside on Chapman into turn number 1 and 2. Chapman with a run back to the outside. Here comes Bandit looking for the slider. No, as they work off turn number 4. Checkered flag going to come out. Problems for Chapman and Clevenger. They come together. Heat race number 1 done and dusted. Let's take a look at those official results coming up on screen. Kyle Mooner gets the win. Tyler Wilson second. Jack Clevenger third. Jesse Bandy fourth. Zach Chapman will be fifth. He'll start on pole of the B main. John Short in 6. Bob DeGood in position number 7. Heat number 2 lining up like this on the pole position with the 11 car of Chad Coate to the outside of the front row. The 218 entry of Kurt Schatzer from position number 2. Position number 3 in the 56 car will be Randy Shreves. The 39 of Patrick Spangler lines up at a position number 4. Carl Sargent in car number 91 will start position number 5. The 34 of Gary Taylor from 6. And the 4 of Greg Parmalee lining up at a position at number 7. I'm going to take Kurt Schatzer in this one. Who you got in this one, Zach?
Let me take a look here. It's a good pick. Patrick Spangler, probably. Got to go with that 39 machine.
All right. Well, we get set for heat race number 2 here at the Knoxville Raceway. The safety car is in. We'll come to the green flag. Kurt Schatzer and Chad Coate. Coate on the inside. Schatzer on the outside. They hit the start line together with green as the dirt track bank. A 218 machine cops a little slider there from the 11 entry of Chad Coate. As Spangler to the outside on Randy Shreves, 2 by 2 by 2. And the top 6 positions, they're all working side by side coming off turn number 4. To lead lap number 1 is going to be Kurt Schatzer. Spangler finding his way to position number 2, but he's going to have Randy Shreves and Chad Coate to deal with here in a moment off turn number 2 as Shreves gets around the outside of Chad Coate. Your initial pulse. And meanwhile, Patrick Spangler, is going to go to the bottom side. Patrick Spangler is going to lead lap number 2.
Yeah, I was actually just asking myself the question, was the bottom in 3 and 4 just faster in the other race, or was it good here? And Patrick Spangler just answered that question. He is really quick on the bottom of 3 and 4, able to really gap the field.
Well, he's ripping in that Training Wheels Racing number 39 machine. It's nice to see him actually change up that paint scheme in the colour to give it a little bit of a different colour with the gold and black number 39 cars. Again, he's going to lead the way off turn number 4. He's got half a second gap back to Kurt Schatzer. Randy Shreves in position number 3 for LGR Motorsports. Then you go back to Chad Coate, Gary Taylor, Kyle Sargent. That's your 6 drivers in heat race number 2. And just like that, we're already 5 laps into heat number 2 here on the Dylan Westbrook Racing Oshweekend Speedway Monday Night Madness Renegade Division for the 360 Wing Sprint cars.
Getting 2 totally different tracks here tonight, Brett. It seems like this one's real top dominant early, and we saw the bottom work in the last one. I'm going to wonder if we've got to expect the bottom to come back in the feature, don't you think?
Absolutely. I definitely think the bottom always comes back here at the Knoxville Raceway, especially these nighttime races. Something about the bottom side. Excuse me. Something about the bottom side is always going to play a factor here at the Knoxville Raceway. Watching right there is Kurt Schatzer holding on just to position number 2, back to the 56 car of Randy Shreves. But into turn number 3 and 4, Patrick Spangler dominating victory here tonight in heat race number 2. This way, I need to pick a heat 3 winner, heat 4 winner, the B main winner, and the A main winner, just to be tied with you.
Well, I doomed myself by getting into Jack there a little bit on the last lap. I'm going to be the pole sitter for the B. I've got to pick myself if I've got first pick.
You don't actually, because you have first pick in heat number 3, which is now coming up on the raceway. Jack Hitt will start alongside Brandon Templeton in row number 1. Row 2 is going to be Blake Chapman alongside Chad Griggs. Then you go back to Barry Golder and Jesse Atkinson to make up row number 3. Who's you picking this one? This is a pretty tough heat race.
This really is. Chad is just stunned us, but I've got to take our coast-to-coast version of Chad Griggs here, our guy who dominates a lot. I got to go with the salesman there in the 20, Blake Chapman.
Yeah, he's going to come from the inside of that second row. I want to go Templeton just with the run going into turn number 1. I think with the outside pole, I'm going to go Jack Hit on pole. I know that's a bit of a cheat pick because I don't like to usually pick the guy on pole, but I'm going to have to go with Jack Hit. Hopefully he can get it done. Hopefully that he's going to be able to force some sort of points back for our one-on-one picks. Again, you lead 3.
Him and Blake, too, they're two of the best we have at running the bottom here as they get the green flag. So, they'll be able to hook it up on the bottom, and bad start there on the outside.
All right, well, that outside line was not a good start at all, but Jack Hit is going to lead down into 3 and 4, and he runs that big, deep slider line in 3 and 4 as here comes Brandon Templeton. Meanwhile, Chad Griggs has found his way to position number 3. Templeton throws the slider. Chapman, that's Blake Chapman trying to run the low side as Chad Griggs is coming after the 217 car. Jack Hit, so the base can resume their battle from the main event, and what we just seen in the Rebels division earlier on. But Brandon Templeton is going to lead lap number 2. And again, if Brandon Templeton wins this, I'm actually going to kick myself because I was actually thinking of him.
Yeah, you mentioned him first, and sometimes what do they say? You got to go with your gut, right?
Yep. Yeah, and obviously not going with my gut on that one. Probably going to bite me in the end, but as we continue to put laps in here at the Knoxville Raceway, Brendan Templeton, your race leader. Here comes Chad Griggs to the inside of Jack Hitt. You know what? As long as Jack Hitt stays in front of Blake Chapman, at least I'll get one back on you. But right now, your race leader is Brandon Templeton. Griggs again working to the low side through turn number 1 and 2. Here comes Hitt with a run on the outside again. They make contact at the midway point of the back straightaway, and there's 3 to run. And here comes Blake Chapman now closing in on 2nd and 3rd.
Yeah, really able to close in after that contact. I don't think has anything for those two when they string out and start racing, but Blake's trying to prove me wrong there as he ducked to the inside of 1 and 2.
Well, Brandon Templeton is now just 1 mile away from heat race number 3 victory here at the Knoxville Raceway in the Dylan Westbrook Racing Osh Weekend Speedway Monday Night Madness Renegades Division. Jack Hitt still back there in position number 2. Blake Chapman has just turned the fastest lap of the race with a 15.916. Have a listen to this time. Ready? These top 4 drivers that you see on your screen, they are all 15.9. So Blake Chapman now just went with a 15.902. That'll be the fastest lap of the race. And you go back to your race leader, Brandon Templeton, with a 15.924 and a 15.965 there for both Chad Griggs and Jack Hitt as they work off to the checkered flag is out. Gee, Chapman, fastest lap of the race with a 15.902. As we get set to take a look at heat race number 3 results up on your screen right now. Brandon Templeton from Jack Hitt, Blake Chapman, Chad Griggs. That's your top 4. Jesse Atkinson, Barry Golden will be 5th and 6th. They'll be headed off to the B main. As heat race number 4 lining up on the raceway right now. Preston Cranmer lines up the 07 machine from position number 1. Donovan Ross lines up at a position number 2. Stephen Golden in the 30 lines up at a position number 3. Keith Jackson in the 13 will start from position number 4. Jeffrey Barker in the 513 from 5. And Terry Landis in the 161 from position number 6. All right. Now it's my turn to pick in this one. I've got no idea.
Just some insider information. Devo does have a penalty, so unless you want to take the guy starting in last, Donovan Ross.
Okay, well, he was one of the guys I was looking at. However, seeing as though that he's going to have a penalty, geez, part of me wants to go with the man that went 4th quick in qualifying of Keith Jackson, but then I kind of want to go the 30 car of Stephen Goldner.
Whichever one you don't take, I'm taking. Those were my 2 as well. So those are what I had it down to.
All right, you know what? I'm going to go Jackson just for the fact that he's on the outside of the front row.
All right, I'll have Goldner then.
Man, that was so hard to pick. And it's worse because you just never know what is going to happen. All right, here we go. 4th and final heat race of the evening here on Osh Weekend Speedway Monday Night Madness for the Dylan Westbrook Racing 360 Wing Sprint Cars. We're green down into turn number 1. And Stephen Goldner tried to rip the bottom side through 1 and 2. Here comes Jackson with a run now on Preston Cranmer as they work down into 3 and 4. Jackson is going to hold the bottom side of turn number 4, and Keith Jackson is going to lead lap number 1. Preston Cranmer back to position number 2. Goldner in 3rd. Fourth is Terry Landis. Then he's got Jeffrey Barker along with Donovan Ross in fifth and sixth position. That battle for the transfer spot is going to be on. Meanwhile, Stephen Goldner throws a big slider there on Kramer. As Stephen Goldner now moves into position number 2, now trying to come after Keith Jackson, your race leader, but there's 7/10 of a second difference.
Yeah, Goldner kissed the wall there a little bit in 1 and 2. Didn't hurt him too bad, but it did slow enough that Preston was able to throw a slider, but Stevens looking for the crossover here. Going to beat him to the line.
All right, does it work through turn number 1 and 2? Goldner again around the outside of Preston. Kramer was trying to make the bottom side. They'll switch lines down into 3 and 4. As it's still going to be Keith Jackson to lead the way. Go back to back there watching the number 5 car of Donovan Ross after getting the penalty at the start of the race. He's only had to move up 1 row, but he's found his way into position number 4. Keith Jackson, fastest lap of the race with a 15.758. He's the only driver in the sub-16 second. Everyone else is 16.0, 16.1, 16.2. There's a 16, or there was a 16.3, but that's just now been taken away. It's Jeffrey Barker with a 16.044. So you got 4 drivers 16.0s. You got Terry Landis 16.2, and then you got Keith Jackson with a 15.758. So he's got this field well and truly covered.
Yeah, he really does. I mean, he's hooking up the bottom in 3 and 4 like nobody else. You see Goldner, he tried it the last lap, couldn't really figure it out, so he went back to the middle in 3 and 4. But I think that's where Keith is making all of his time. It's 3 laps in a row now under the 16-second mark.
Keith Jackson works down into turn number 3 and 4 for the final time, and a dominating heat race victory here tonight in heat race number 4. He gets the job done, and he will put himself into the big dance for 35 laps later on tonight as we get set to go through your B main lineup here. But let's take a look at heat race number 4 results coming up on screen. And it's going to be Keith Jackson getting the win over Stephen Goldner, Preston Kramer, Donovan Ross to make up your top 4. So I just need to change the score. So it's 7-5. Terry Landis, Jeffrey Barker make up the field in this one as we get set for B main action, 10 laps, and it's going to be top 8 to go through. In fact, you do have pick in the B main.
Yeah, and I actually lied. What kind of idiot would I be to pick myself when Kyle Sargent's starting on the outside of me? Got to go with that 91 car. I don't know what he's doing in the B main with me.
All right, well, let's go through your lineup. Zach Chapman lines up the 72 on pole position. Kyle Sargent will start from position number 2. Jesse Atkinson in the 127 from 3. The 161, Terry Landis from 4. John Short in the 51 from 5. Gary Taylor in the 34 from 6. From 7, it's Barry Golden in the 36. Jeffrey Barker, the 513 from 8. Bob DeGood in the 7 from 9. And Greg Parmalee in the 4 from position number 10, who I don't think has made the grid. So, well, I can't pick you because if I pick you and then you don't win, I can just say that it was rigged.
Very true, but I'd love nothing more than to win.
Yeah, I tell you what, I'm going to go with... You've already picked Sargent. Okay. I'll go with Jesse Atkinson. So 10 laps on the board. Top 8 going through into tonight's main event as they work into turn number 1 and 2. It's going to be Zach Chapman leading the way. Here comes Sargent down to the inside. Looks to throw the slider. That he does. Gets a little crossed up off turn number 4. But Kyle Sargent is going to lead lap number 1. Atkinson running side by side with Terry Landis, who just rolls right through the middle of the speedway. Landis now gets to the outside. And your top 6 on screen there, boy. It is really on right now as Kyle Sargent continuing to lead the way. Is Terry Landis. Here he comes in the 161. He'll slide it 3/4 of the way up the racetrack. Cut it back down through the middle off turn number 4. Gary Taylor in the 34 car now gets to the outside of Chapman in car number 72. Now got John Short working to his outside. And you've got a good side-by-side battle. And they're 3 wide for the final transfer position too, by the way, of the final transfer spots. 9 of your 9 cars, 8 of them are going through. Here comes Short on the inside of Taylor down into turn number 3 and 4. Atkinson around the outside of Chapman. Chapman going back to position number 6. Meanwhile, Short trying to slide up and take the line away from the 161 car of Terry Landis. Landis goes back to position number 3. John Short now moves to position number 2. Taylor and Atkinson work side by side down into 1 and 2. Nearly some contact between the 34 and the 127. 34 of Gary Taylor, the 127 of Jesse Atkinson. But just like that, 6 down, 4 to run. And it's the top 8 are going through. 6/10 of a second. Make that 7/10 of a second lead for Kyle Sargent. Start to see the top side starting to come back into play. As here comes Taylor around the outside of Landis. Landis to the inside there as he tried to shut the door on Jesse Atkinson in that 127 car. Meanwhile, out in front, you're at the race leader is Kyle Sargent in car number 91. 2 to run for the 91 car. Here comes John Short. He's now brought it down to half a second. Fastest lap of the race was John Short with a 16.135. Goes to the bottom through 3 and 4, but the white flag is out. 1 to go for the 91 car of Kyle Sargent. Again, Short closed in by 2/10 of a second, but time is not against his side. As Kyle Sargent going to work his way into turn number 3. Here comes John Short with a run on the inside, and Kyle Sargent gets the win in the B-Lane competition. So checkers are out in your B-Main top 8 going through. Let's take a look at those 9 cars to see who gets the 8 transfer spots. Kyle Sargent, John Short, that'll be your top 2. Gary Taylor, Jesse Atkinson, Terry Landis, your top 5. Jeffrey Barker, Zach Chapman, and Bob DeGood will get the 8th and final transfer spot. Unfortunately, Barry Goldner is going to miss out as he came home in position number 9. All right, we'll take a quick break here on Ultimate Dirt TV and on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. We're back with your main event here on Osh Weekend Speedway. Monday Night Madness for the Dylan Westbrook Racing Renegades 360 Wing Sprint Car Division. And we are back here on Ultimate Dirt TV coverage of the Ashweekend Speedway Monday Night Madness for the Dylan Westbrook Racing 360 Wing Sprint Cars, your A division, which is known as the Renegades. Brett Wheeler joined alongside Zach Chapman, who is actually going to be racing in this one, so you won't hear too much from him unless we are under yellow, which of course we will then bring him into the situation as we get ready for your A main event. I'm not going to make sure I screw this one up. Here we go. Your starting lineup is going to look like this. Kyle Moonen in the 24 will start from position number 1. Patrick Spangler, my pick, will now start from position number 2. From position number 3 will be Brandon Templeton. From 4, it's Keith Jackson. From 5, Tyler Wilson. From position number 6, Kurt Schatzer. Jack Hitt from position number 7. From 8, it's Stephen Goldner. Jack Clevenger from position number 9. Randy Shreves from position number 10. From position number 11, Blake Chapman. From 12, Preston Cranmer. From position number 13, Jesse Mandy. From 14, Chad Coate. From position number 15, Chad Griggs. From 16, Donovan Ross. Your B-main winner of Kyle Sargent starts 17, John Short, out of position number 18. Gary Taylor from 19, 20th is going to be Jesse Atkinson. 21st is Terry Landis, 22nd, Jeffrey Barker, and Jafana Rose. Zach Chapman out of 23, and Bob DeGood out of position number 24. Zach, who you got in this one?
Sorry, I was getting all my settings set up here, but you know, he's always quick, and I don't know if he's won this season. I don't believe he has, unless it skipped my mind. I'm going to pick Keith Jackson. I think he's going to surprise everybody tonight.
Well, he went with a top 4 qualifying effort earlier on this evening. Picked up the victory in heat race number 4. And of course, we're continuing on with the 4s. He will start on the outside of that second row, but we got 35 laps on the board for your Dylan Westbrook Racing Renegade 360 Wing Sprint Car portion of your Osh Weekend Speedway Monday Night Madness as the field works down the back straight away. They are 1 to green. Who will take out the second last race of the season? Again, championship week next week or next Monday night. As the safety car moves off the raceway, who will find themselves in victory lane? We're about to go racing. We're live for 35 as the green flag is out. We're underway with Kyle Moon and Brandon Templeton. They got a good start on the inside row, as did Wilson in the 42 car. But Patrick Spangler now goes to the outside. He'll run the slider line down into turn number 3 and 4 as he tries to come after your race leader of Kyle Moonen, as Moonen will lead lap number 1. Meanwhile, Jack Hitt is going to continue to work to the inside right through the slick. Blake Chapman also running down low in the number 20 machine, trying to get by Clevenger in the 78 and Randy Shreves. Shreves running the top. Jack Hitt in the 217. Again, just all sorts of crossed up there in the middle of turn number 3 and 4. And don't forget your podium. They are all running right alongside of each other. They're running 10th, 11th, and 12th at the minute from the 360B division earlier on as Chad Griggs will slide up. Problems for Shreves in the 56 car. And it all came about from the 218 car of Kurt Schatzer. Fastest lap of the race is coming up there. Brandon Templeton with the 16.651. Gee, they're working all over this raceway. The cushion getting real nasty. It's starting to bite people as we'll go yellow.
Big hit in the wall for somebody there, Brett. Big hit.
I tell you right now, it is going to be Preston Cranmer in the 07 machine. Yeah, front end broken on that 07 car. There was just problems as Kurt Schatzer came off the guardrail and down into the right front of the 07 car. So Cranmer will go back to the pit area. But it's Kyle Moonen, still your race leader, from Patrick Spangler and Brandon Templeton. That'll be your top 3. What are you seeing at the moment so far, Zach?
Just, you know, for the most part, I think guys are just trying to see what they have right now. There's a lot of different lines, but, you know, slow cars all around. So you just got to see what you have these first couple laps and, you know, make sure you can stick it high if you need to and make sure you got the throttle control to run it low if you need to.
All right, we get set to come back to green in a few moments' time. Again, we are still 2 to green for the moment. So just let's recap. Let's have a look at who's been the 2 biggest movers through the field. At this stage, John Short +8. He's gone from 18th to 10th. And Chad Griggs has gone +7 And he's gone from 15th to 8th. So the man that finished a runner-up earlier on in tonight's 360 main event just found his way inside the top 10. So Kyle Moon and Patrick Spangler once again lining up on the front row. Brandon Templeton, Tyler Wilson, Keith Jackson in fifth, Stephen Goldner. You go back to Blake Chapman, Chad Griggs, Jack Hitt, and John Short. That's how you know you've watched a fair few races, if you can just tell the people by looking at their paint schemes. So 5 down, 30 to go. We're back underway in tonight's main event with Kyle Moon and again getting a good jump on Patrick Spangler and the rest of the field as Templeton slides up in front of Spangler. Spangler turns it back underneath him as Jackson was working to the low side. Keith Jackson seems to have figured that bottom side out, and again he'll stick to the bottom side through 3 and 4. He's looking to pick up a couple of more positions to Keith Jackson. Now going to go to the runner-up spot. The Spangler tries to dive it down low, and they made contact on the entry into turn number 1. Blake Chapman working to the low side. Stephen Goldner. Spangler now getting shuffled back outside the top 5 as Spangler into the guardrail. He's jumped the cushion. Templeton and Stephen Goldner. Goldner running the slide line down into turn number 1 and 2. Problems for Wilson in the 42 car. As we'll go yellow, there's problems for Jesse Bandy in that 49 car, who is still green for the moment. There is the yellow. So Jesse Bandy was involved in that one, and he was just sort of wrong place, wrong time for the 49 car. So he managed just to get by that one run on the low side, Zach. That was lucky to get away from that one.
Yeah, it was. I was really, whenever the caution didn't come out, I was getting real excited that maybe I make it to the start-finish line and get to keep all those spots. But I have a feeling I'm going to have to give some of them back here.
All right, well, we are essentially 8 laps into the 35-lap main event. Still 27 to run. Still a long time to go, but we've already seen it tonight, Zach. The drivers can put in a good long green flag run. Of course, it all started with the 358 modifieds earlier on before D. Reynolds decided he wanted to ruin things. And then even towards the middle part and the back end of that 360 Rebel division, they showed some good long green flag runs as well.
Yeah, I think we're definitely going to get one in here. I'm going to be the first person to be honest that these are pretty timely for me. I've gotten to go from 23rd to 16th, so I'm not going to complain until I get caught up in one.
All right, well, let's hope that doesn't happen. Let's hope that you're able to move through the field and get a top 10. Seeing as though you did start in 23rd position, where were you going to be happy with tonight? That's a long way back.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, I think I'm like 10th in points right now. Missed a couple of races doing some broadcasts, but I'd be happy with top 10. I think when all the stuff goes my way, I'm normally a top 10 guy in here. Not much better, not much worse.
All right, lights are out. We're going back to green. Kyle Moon and your race leader from Brandon Templeton. Back to the green we go. As it again, Moon will run the middle of the speedway. Stephen Goldner in car number 30 coming after Brandon Templeton as they work down the back straightaway. Blake Chapman in the 20 car just working to the low side again. Chad Griggs also, along with John Short, also keeping their cars on the bottom side of the raceway. Templeton going to go through the slick. He'll slide it to the middle of the raceway. Stephen Goldner trying to put 4 wheels in the flop on the outside to try and reclaim that runner-up position. And just like that, we're 10 in the books, 25 to run. 3 wide down the front straightaway. Chapman, Goldner, and Templeton. Templeton goes to the cushion. Goldner runs the slider line. Blake Chapman runs the low side, as does Chad Griggs. And Keith Jackson has found his way to position number 5, and they'll go 3 wide. Templeton on the top. Jackson through the middle. Griggs down to the low side once again. Chad Griggs has found his way to top 5 after starting deep in this field as well. Although I want to say he started in like 13th position or something like that was Chad Griggs. But Stephen Goldner just done the fastest lap of the race with a 16.563. As Blake Chapman now moves to position number 2. Goldner coming after Kyle Moonen. Right on the slider line, down through turn number 1 and 2. And again, he's just gone quicker again, was Kyle Moonen with a 16.557. And it's double slider lines right there for the 30 car of Stephen Goldner. And boy, the lap time, 16.501, 16.496, I should say. That's your new fastest lap of the race, running slider. Here at the Knoxville Raceway. Now he goes to the inside, challenges on for the race lead, and Stephen Goldner is going to pick up the race lead after what is 14 laps in the books. Back to the slider line goes Stephen Goldner, trying to drive away as they go to yellow. And even though the yellow comes out, that's a 7 car, Bob to good, slowing there on the front straightaway. Stephen Goldner did lead that lap anyway.
Yeah, I got up over somebody's right rear there. Not sure if they got a little sideways or if I just got a big run. So I started that one. Whoops.
Zach Chapman missing a front wing on that 72 car. You know what, let's go back and have a look at that one. Got a replay. It was Brandon Templeton. Oh, you got Jack hit. You got him.
Yeah, I did.
Whoa, okay, hang on. All right, so looking at this replay, there's a little bit of a gap between your left front and his right rear. Okay. There's a little bit of a gap between the initial contact, so yes, it was your car that shot up into Jack hit, but there was a little bit of a gap between,
100%.
between your left front and the right rear of Brandon Templeton. So I don't think you can take
a little
full blame on that one.
I guess. Little net code, I guess, hiked me up in the air, and yeah, Jack had nothing he could do there. He was just a victim.
So again, we wait for the lights to turn out on the safety car, the Steve King Foundation safety car. Again, the final race of your Oshweekend Speedway Monday Night Madness here for tonight. Again, championship week is next week, so this is the penultimate round of the series. Stephen Goldner has opted to go to the outside. Kyle Moonen will go back to the inside, but Stephen Goldner is your race leader. So 20 to run, so 15 down. So we're close to half race distance. Safety car is in. Goldner and Moonen getting ready to come back to racing here at the Knoxville Raceway. And just like that, we're back underway. Blake Chapman going to go to the inside on Kyle Moonen as they work through turn number 1 and 2. And Chapman just rolls the inside of the raceway to pick up position number 2. Now he goes to the slider line down into 3 and 4. Meanwhile, your race leader went to the bottom and just slid up on the exit of turn number 4 and just caught the moisture. Again, Chapman just rolled the inside. Keith Jackson. Here comes Patrick Spangler again with a run on the outside down into 3 and 4. So Patrick Spangler has found his way back to position number 4. Templeton, I think that was, going down to, or back down pit road in that 31 car. The Dirt Track Bank got the 6 Racing Network 31 car. Meanwhile, Moonen coming, going to have some pressure right now with Patrick Spangler as they come after Blake Chapman, but Chapman again still working to the inside. Jackson right behind Patrick Spangler now side by side for positions number 5 and 6 as they work on the 24 car of Kyle Moonen. That's actually 4th and 5th, battling between Jackson and Spangler. Griggs and Short will go at it for 6th and 7th with Randy Shrees in 8th position. Moonen still holds on to a podium position. Spangler again to the cushion into turn number 1 and 2, trying to rail that cushion. Jackson to the inside, works the inside of the race. We're going to say it looks at the moment, both lines are fairly even. Just a matter of where you got your car set up for, whether you got your car set up for the top, whether you got your car set up for the bottom side of the speedway. Jackson again trying to work over the 24 car of Kyle Moonen. But just like that, we're 21 laps into this 35-lap feature event. And Stephen Goldner is your race leader from Blake Chapman by 8/10 of a second. Then there's a 6 to 7/10 of a second gap back to third place driver of Kyle Moonen, who again has got Patrick Spangler nearly on the tail tank of that 24 car. Here goes Spangler down to the inside, right through the middle. They found the grip line, not on the bottom side. but it's not right through the middle. It's this sort of in between in turns 3 and 4. Spangler now finding his way to position number 3. He goes back to the top. Oh boy, gets us the cushion, comes down the racetrack just a little bit. Meanwhile, Jackson and Moonen still go out of position number 4 and 5. Oh, look out, Moonen. Spangler, Randy Shrees is around. Oh no, upside down goes Clevenger, I think it was, in the 78 car. It was. Jack Clevenger, big ride in that 78 car. And he was just nowhere to go. He was wrong place, wrong time. So we'll look on board right now with the 78 car. He even seen that happening off turn number 2. And just tried to find a way by that little incident, but unfortunately not been able to miss the wreck on the back straight away. All right, so again, we are under the yellow flag conditions here at the Knoxville Raceway. Zach, you're in 14th position. I guess the question now being, how are you feeling? You feeling a lot more comfortable as the race goes on?
I mean, I feel quick. Tyler Wilson and I have been battling a little bit. The car beside me, we've been making our way through the field. I mean, I went 23rd to 9th, got caught up in that, my accident there, and made my way back up to 14th here, so I can't really complain. All in all, it's been a pretty good day, and it's a lot of lanes to get stuff done. It's just you got to know how to work the throttle.
All right, wish you the best of luck for the final 11 laps as we get set to come back to green here at the Knoxville Raceway. Stephen Golden, Blake Chapman, boy, I tell you what, Kyle Mooner got a good start on the outside of that second row. Now Patrick Spangler going to go to the inside in turn number 1 and 2. And mind you, they're 3 wide, Jackson, Moonen and Griggs. Moonen, maybe some damage to that 24 car. Oh boy, he's just got up over the cushion. Chad Griggs again finished with the runner-up finish in the Rebels, the B division, earlier on this evening. Now here in the A division for the Renegades in the Dylan Westbrook Racing 360 Wing Sprint Car Series. Finding himself with a top 5 at the moment. Meanwhile, Blake Chapman, again, just working to the low side. Looking at lap times. It's not right on the bottom, but it's somewhat just a lane off the bottom. Just above the slick line is where Blake Chapman is running at the moment. And he goes right through the grip in the middle of turn number 3 and 4. And gets that grip patch on the exit. Again, these guys turning lap times in the high 16-second bracket. 16.7, 16.8. Last lap time by Stephen Goldner was nearly a 10th quicker with a 16.798. Blake Chapman with a 16.875. Spangler now in position number 3, who's closed in on your runner-up driver as Blake Chapman now goes to the top of the racetrack as Spangler now works to the inside. And we've got 6 to run at the line. A big slider from Spangler on Blake Chapman as Blake Chapman goes back at him down into turn number 1. 3 miles around the Knoxville Raceway. 6 laps and the yellow flag is going to come out. Jack Hitt in the 217 car once again. Boy, Jack Hitt has been in everything tonight. Oh, he just got into the back of Coat and they got all sorts of crossed up. Unfortunately, he got tagged by the 34 car of Gary Taylor. And how quickly things can change. Jack Hitt goes from a 3rd place in the B division for the Rebels division. Now, well, he's back in the pit area trying to get some work done to the 217 car. And I'm pretty sure that he's going to pretty much end his campaign here at the Knoxville Raceway for tonight. You feeling okay, Zach?
Yeah, up to 10th here. I feel like maybe I'm faster than a couple cars in front of me, but I got a mighty fast car behind me, a Chad Cote. He was the inside of me when that caution came out. I saw his front nose, so gonna have to try something to get by these guys.
All right, we'll see what happens here in these final 5 laps here at the Knoxville Raceway. Again, Stephen Golden is your race leader. Who did you pick on this one? Was it Keith Jackson?
Keith Jackson, yeah, where's he at right
6.
now? Okay, who'd you pick?
Spangler. He's 4th. So,
oh, jeez.
yeah, I'm pretty sure that you said the winner of this one wins the whole event between those two.
Yep.
Pretty sure it was winner take all. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll have to go up there under caution then.
Ah, okay. Ooh, okay. You're going to risk a penalty, are you?
Oh, man. I hope I don't get one for Jack. Poor Jack. I feel bad about him. Hopefully his car's okay after that last accident.
He's coming back up, but he's got no top wing. I think he's just trying
It's one of the best we have in the midgets, so if anyone can do it, it's him.
All right, well, back to green we go with 5 to run. Your race leader is Stephen Goldner. Steve King Foundation, iRacing.com. Base car is back into the pit area. We'll go back to green. We'll keep an eye on Blake Chapman in the 20 car, along with Patrick Spangler in position number 3. Jackson got to the inside of Griggs as they work off for turn number 2. So Jackson's found his way to position number 5. Griggs in 4th, but Spangler getting a little crossed up there on the exit of turn number 4. Donovan Ross up to position number 6. John Short, Kurt Schatz, and Tyler Wilson, Zach Chapman make up your top 10. But again, the battle is again starting to brew for 2nd and 3rd position. As this happens and as this battle is starting to develop, your race leader is Stephen Goldner. He's checking out from the rest of the field. He's got 6/10 of a second gap. He just picked up 2/10 of a second there on that previous lap. And boy, Stephen Goldner just going right through the middle of turn number 3 and 4. He's just making that car nice. He's keeping the car nice and straight. And the Velocity Race Designs Vanderbilt number 30 car of Stephen Goldner past the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame in New Zealand for the penultimate time here at Oshweekend Speedway. Monday Night Madness for the Dylan Westbrook Racing 360 Wing Sprint Car, your A Division for the Renegades. He will get the white flag, will race it out to the start-finish line as he navigates through turn number 1 and 2. Back straight away for the final time. He'll work his way down into turn number 3. As long as he doesn't make any sort of mistake to where he's not going to get the car sideways, he doesn't. Off turn number 4, Stephen Goldner is your winner of the Dylan Westbrook Racing 360 Sprint Cars here at the Knoxville Raceway. So we'll bring up your full field rundown for the 24 drivers in this one. Stephen Goldner gets the win. Blake Chapman at home in 2nd. Patrick Spangler in 3rd. Chad Griggs 4th. Keith Jackson makes up your top 5. Donovan Ross home in 6th. John Short 7th. Kurt Schatzer 8th. Zach Chapman 9th. Tyler Wilson makes up your top 10. 11th is going to be Chad Coate, Jeffrey Barker, Jesse Atkinson, Jack Clevenger, and Kyle Sargent. Your top 15. Kyle Moonen 16th. Gary Taylor, Terry Landis, Preston Cranmer, and Bob DeGood make up your top 20. And they were the last cars on the lead lap. 21st, Jack Hitt, 3 laps down in position number 21. Randy Shrees back in the pits along with Jesse Bandy and Brandon Templeton to make up your 24 drivers in this one. Again, we get set to chat to your top 3. Let's bring in 3rd place driver right now is the 39 car of Patrick Spangler. Pat, congratulations on this 3rd place finish here tonight, boy. You're really in the thick of things. You fell back a little bit early on in the start of that race, but that 39 car had some serious speed, and you managed to work your way back up to position number 3.
Yeah, I went to throw a big slider, and I didn't realize Keith Jackson would be below me, so we bumped tires. Thankfully, none of us crashed, but just dumb move on my part. I fell back, I think, to like 9th or 10th, and then I was able to work my way back up, but just didn't have any tires there at the end. I think I finished like 50% tires, so yep, just chalked that one up for driver error there.
Well, this racetrack was slick from top to bottom. There's a cushion to lean on, but it gets a little bit tricky, especially right, somewhat through the middle of the raceway. How are we able to sort of navigate and stay on top of what the racetrack's doing?
Usually I can hit the top pretty good here with the setup I've run. I've run the same setup basically for like the past 3 years, and Usually it's almost lights out here, just with the tire wear today, and then with Goldner he's just having an unreal season. So he was just able to keep out front, and then I got stuck behind Moon in there for a little bit, and then I just had nothing for him at the end.
Patrick, congratulations on this third place finish here tonight at the Knoxville Raceway. Before we let you go, we'll let you thank everybody involved on this 39 car that makes it possible for you.
Yeah, just you for the awesome broadcast each week, and Zach helping you out, Roger and the family issues he's having right now. Hopefully they get all better and everything like that. Train Wheels Racing with Tyler and Jesse in tonight, and Dittmer with I think he had top 5 in the Rebels race. D&T Designs for the wrap, and yeah, hopefully see you here next week.
Pat, well done on third place, mate. Congratulations.
Thanks.
There we go. Patrick Spangler, third place finisher here tonight. Zach Chapman, you're going to catch up with Blake Chapman, who comes home second.
Hey, Blake, your long-lost fourth or fifth cousin, Zach, in the booth, man. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, I was out there running tonight, so I didn't get to watch your battle much. But I imagine, were you committed to the bottom tonight?
You know, that's a pretty good guess, I got to say. But I was for that first part of the race. I was rolling it really, really well from 11th. I didn't get off the bottom until quite a ways into that race. I had to try the top there to get around Goldner because that middle was just really, really fast. I tried the top, and Patrick caught me there and got a caution and just decided to hold that middle, and which is really surprising. I didn't think that middle line would be the fast line tonight. I figured it'd be the top, but I knew when Patrick was behind me and he did not rip around me on the top, that top was probably not the fast line tonight. And yeah, I thought I had a pretty good car. Just I definitely didn't have anything for that 30 machine.
Yeah, well, Goldner, man, he's had an unreal season. He's been lights out. And, you talked a little bit about it, the middle line being fast. And, that's something that we've all had to adjust to since this new build. We're not used to a quick lane coming in at the slick at the end, but it's all about throttle control. Tell everybody a little bit about it.
Yeah, it's throttle control. I mean, that's everything. And I think that it's changed a little bit since the update. And I like it better personally, but yeah, it doesn't matter what track you're on when it gets slick. Throttle control is going to be key, and it got really slick tonight. And Renegades, we got some of the best drivers out here, so good clean racing, and it makes for really, really good racing on the broadcast.
Yeah, you're not kidding, man. Heck of a top 3 tonight, and good job on your second place finish. Let's hear the list, kid.
Yeah, first I got to thank the family for watching and supporting. I got to thank the guys at the Krite Sim Racing Team and the Can-Am Racing Team. I got to thank Preston at Epsilon Sprint Reps and Andy at A&J Custom Creations. And of course, I got to thank Galen's Gourmet Popcorn. They got some of the best stuff out there, and you can go check them out on their website. And don't forget to use code CART at checkout for 15% off of your purchase. And I got to thank you guys for the broadcast.
Well, congratulations, Blake, and hopefully once they figure out all these drop weeks and stuff, you should be pretty close to the championship. So hopefully you can give us a good show next week at Charlotte.
Yeah, I hope so. Thanks, Zach.
Take it easy, Blake. That's your third place finisher, Blake Chapman. We'll go ahead and bring up the winner here, Stephen Goldner. Stephen Goldner in the 30. Go ahead and get your interview with Brett here, my man.
Hey, Stephen, congratulations. Another dominating victory here at the Knoxville Race. Boy, this 30 car was lightning quick. It was lights out all night. Congratulations on the win, mate. Well done.
Yeah, we had another hot rod there. Thanks to all the guys, all the Vanderbilt guys for giving me a real good setup and a real good car for tonight. It was definitely showed to be fast all race. We were able to move around too, which is great. It definitely makes it a lot easier for me to drive.
Zach was saying you've had a pretty lights out season. What's been the biggest thing that's sort of impressed you to be so good this season?
Just being comfortable in the car. I mean, we've been super comfortable all season. Definitely at the tail end of last season, we found something that's been working for us. A lot of the Vanderbilt guys have been really good. They just had bad luck. But yeah, cars have been super quick, and can't thank the team enough.
Well, tonight you put in a dominating performance. It took you a little bit to get to the race lead, but once you got to the race lead, boy, it was It was all she wrote from there. A couple of late race yellows in this one, just to spice things up a little bit. Were you sort of nervous at all, knowing that you were going to have the guys right on your tail on those restarts?
Not really. Being the control car, you can really control when and where you want to go, and you can typically get a good jump on a lot of those guys. And I was taking the top there just to have a good entry in the one, and it definitely helped carrying momentum and clearing everyone on the backstretch. So, yeah, happy with how we ran. It is a little nerve-wracking having Patrick and Blake behind you, especially close on the restart. But still really had to hit my marks and put some good laps down.
Stephen, congratulations on the victory here in the penultimate round of the series here on here on the Dylan Westbrook Racing Osh Weekend Speedway Monday Night Madness here at the Knoxville Raceway. Stephen, before we let you go and celebrate, we'll let you thank everybody involved on this city car that makes it all possible for you.
Yeah, again, I got to thank all the guys at Vanderbilt. Jesse, Fitzy, Moon and Lacey, Ross Corinna, Brandon, all those guys. They're great guys, a lot of fun. Definitely put the effort in to make sure we're fast every week. Ross Burnett, Boston Race Designs, Fitz Perfect Photography, Lunar Racing Engines. Again, you said Dylan Westbrook Racing for the title sponsor for Renegades. You guys for the broadcast, and Roger and everyone with Coast to Coast Racing Leads.
Stephen, well done on the victory here tonight at Knoxville. Good luck in Charlotte next week.
Thanks a lot.
There we go, Stephen Goldney, your winner here tonight from the Knoxville Raceway in the Renegades Dylan Westbrook Racing 360 Wing Sprint Cars here on Osh Weekend Speedway Monday Night Madison. Well, that will wrap it up here tonight. Again, we've had the 358 Modifieds to open up tonight. Then we had the Rebels 360 Sprint Car Division to be the middle part of the night, and of course to wrap up this Monday Night Madness. Thanks to Osh Weekend Speedway was your A division for the 360 Wing Sprint Cars known as the Renegades. Zach, thank you for joining me. Thank you for saving my bacon, because I am absolutely feeling not too good in an easy and polite way to put it. So you somewhat saved me, and I certainly enjoyed our time here in the booth.
Hey, man, just happy I could sit here with you, and it just shows how professional you are, because if you wouldn't have told everybody that, I bet you nobody would have noticed. You did a great job, and I was happy to be along for the ride.
All right, well, it's championship week here with the Coast to Coast Racing League. Live on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. I believe we'll be back on Wednesday night with the Flatline Racing Body's hometown heroes. Joe White, OSRN, will have the call with the fixed 305 sprint cars from Lernerville. He'll also have fixed 360 sprint cars, followed by the midgets and then the NASCAR pickups from the Las Vegas Motor Speedway, before we come back on Thursday night with Marty. In fact, is going to be here for that one, for the Gambler Motorsports Thursday Night Thunder Championship Week. And that is live from Rossburg, Ohio's Eldora Speedway for the RSN Trackside 358 Modifieds and the Catalytic Recovery Big Block Modifieds. Again, big action, big week here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network with the Coast to Coast Racing League. We thank you so very much for your time here this evening. But until then, on behalf of the team here at Ultimate Dirt TV and on the Coast to Coast Racing Network, we say farewell and good night.